automakers moving operations north.
Well, that's Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will face questions at a House hearing next hour about trade talks and the Trump tariffs and concern about their effect on the economy. The Homeland Security Secretary will also testify at another House hearing, no doubt asked about the new incentives to get illegal immigrants to self-deport, paying for their flights out and giving them $1,000 after they've left.
Christy Noem says the plan will save taxpayer dollars, noting it cost more than $17,000 for a migrant to be arrested, detained, and deported.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
President Trump says immigrants who do not self-deport will not have a path back to the U.S.
And speaking of flights, nearly 200 to and from Newark, New Jersey are delayed or canceled again this morning as that airport continues to deal with a shortage of air traffic controllers made worse when someone on leave last week because of the stress following a technical problem that briefly turned off radar and cut communications with planes. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries blames the president.
As part of breaking the federal government, the Trump administration is breaking the FAA.
But Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy tells Fox.
We have really old infrastructure in America. It hasn't been updated in the last 30, 40 years. This should have been dealt with in the last administration.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A string of shootings across Indy overnight. Cloudy, nothing on the radar, 51 degrees in downtown Indianapolis, a high of 70 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:02. 3 separate shootings happening throughout Indianapolis overnight. The first near North Midhofer Road and East 21st Street on the far east side. Not too long after that, another shooting near West 69th and Michigan Road on the north side. A third shooting then reported following a couple of hours later into the early morning hours near 21st and Tibbs on the northwest side. Multiple men injured in all of those shootings. Police have not said whether they have identified any suspects or if anyone is in custody. A man shot and killed outside the Hendricks County Courthouse Monday, John Herrick reports.
Inmates were being transported to the courthouse to have their court proceedings. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says when they got there, 2 transport deputies and the inmates were confronted by a man with a gun.
At which time the deputies were able to shoot the suspect, get all of the inmates back to a safe location inside the courthouse.
Perrine says the suspect was later pronounced dead at the scene. He says this investigation is complex and they're trying to sort things out. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The deceased man identified as 65-year-old Mark Valter of Plainfield. He was outside the courthouse prior to the arrival of the transport van. Eli Lilly and Company breaking ground on their new $4.5 billion medicine foundry in Lebanon this afternoon.
The medicine foundry will combine research, manufacturing, and the most advanced technology available in a single location right here in Indiana. We're not aware of another investment like this.
Lilly Chair and CEO Dave Ricks, he will be at the groundbreaking along with Indiana Governor Mike Braun. The investment brings the pharmaceutical giant's total investment to the LEAP district in Boone County to over $13 billion. The Indiana Pacers have the 1-0 lead early in the Eastern Conference semifinals over the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Miles Turner says if they want to keep that lead after Game 2, they have to be better defensively against the Cavs.
Defensively, I know we got hurt in the boards a bit. I think I had 21 second chance points, and you negate some of that, then lead grows for us. So we can't just hope and pray that they miss shots. We got to make them miss shots.
The Pacers gave up 13 offensive rebounds to the Cavs on Sunday. Game 2 tonight in Cleveland. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock Eastern. A check of the roads. Good morning, Matt Baer.
Let's go down. Looking at northbound 65 stop-and-go traffic, Raven Street up to the south split, and inbound 70 slows from Rural Street to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping and code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Some morning fog possible across parts of the state. Otherwise, partly cloudy this afternoon with highs near 70. Clear, falling to 52 overnight tonight. I'm News TV's meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Time for Kendall Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, we could go with the proposed format that you have set forth for the template.
Or?
We could do that.
Yeah.
However, since nothing's worked around here this morning.
Correct.
I say we just wing it and see what we come up with.
I like that idea. Let's see what happens.
Everything's broke. And so we'll just go with that. And I think it'll be more entertaining for the audience anyway.
Nothing's working.
Well, you know. It's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. Great news, Casey.
Yeah, what's that?
The 5 p.m. deadline that we imposed for the governor to do the right thing. And we really thought on the heels of that Abdul Indy Politics survey, which showed 70% of the people that took it, that's Indy Politics survey, said the governor sucks at his job. And property tax is the primary reason. We really thought he would do the right thing. He's decided that's not going to happen. So we had imposed a self-imposed ceasefire. It's like the Israelis and the Palestinians. We told the governor, look, effective Thursday evening, we will not lob any real grenades at you until Monday at 5 p.m., giving you plenty of time to adhere to the will of the populace, do the right thing, admit this property tax bill isn't working for anyone, that everyone hates it, that everyone hates you, and say I'm calling a special session for the express written purpose of repealing this awful bill that's going to make things worse and starting over. That deadline has come and gone.
Correct.
The governor, now, look, we have very serious concerns based on how Braun looked at the little Politburo speech that he gave late last week.
His first 100 days.
Looking very frail, very feeble. He could be a victim of elder abuse. We don't know if his staff is confining him without nourishment or the opportunity to exercise. We don't know what's going on with the governor, but the 5 p.m. deadline has come and gone, and it does not. It does not matter how much you hate this guy or you hate this plan. He is apparently not budging.
Yep, 70% disapproved of the job that he's been doing as governor. And 66% of people, according to the Indy Politics poll, believe that property taxes should be replaced. And yet we get crickets from him.
Okay,
so what does that mean? The moratorium's over?
Oh, yeah, no. Now we're going to up our game a little bit, right? Because and this comes back to what Dan Stock was talking about yesterday on our program, Dr. Dan Stock, and that psychosis of tyranny, where Braun, like any other politician, any other high-profile politician, most high-profile politicians, has this really incredible ability to do what Dan Stock calls the psychosis of tyranny, where the politician takes whatever information they believe fits their narrative. So you could have 90% of the information going against 10 and 10% for. And if they want whatever the 10% is, they don't care about the 90%. And when you look at the fact that not only did Braun sign on to this thing, not only has he been running ads promoting this thing, but this thing comes out over the weekend, which Abdul is never going to be confused for not being a supporter of the power structure. It's not like it was a Rob Kendall-based poll, which shows everyone hates your guts, and they hate your guts because of this property tax debacle. he's just quadrupling down. Nothing's going to change. It is amazing this guy's lack of I don't even know what the word is. It's not a lack of understanding, because I think he understands. I don't think he cares. It's well, let's use a phrase that they used when we were in federal court the other day: an inability to read the room. when Ernest T. Bass, our old pal Gabe Whitley, got sentenced to federal prison, his defense was, I don't know how to read the room. Apparently, Braun also suffers from that affliction.
Inability to read the room. I'm wondering if he's been giving the information about what's going on, what his constituents think.
Well, he has to know.
Is he being protected?
He's calling people, though, begging them to agree with him or begging them to go along with him. I've talked to many, many people who are not connected in various parts of the state. By the way, you notice he didn't call us.
No.
You notice he didn't call us. And this is, in hindsight, part of what I've had to do over the past several months, basically, is self-reflection, because I've tried to figure out what went wrong here. How did we get here? At what point did the whole "I'm with you guys" go off the rails, for lack of a better term? And I think what we've really uncovered is, and somebody said this on Twitter today, which is this guy being Braun, has no core conviction. And he found an issue that he recognized the populace was really fired up about, but he never had the core conviction to see it through. And I think that's what everybody is learning, is that Braun is a chameleon who will morph into whatever box he needs to morph into in that moment to make himself be popular. He doesn't have any core conviction. He doesn't have any deeply held belief system. And so that's why when he's told what to do, and in a sense he was being told what to do, he believed, and rightfully so. I mean, remember they did the polling? Remember they did the polling on me, and they were trying, and obviously it was very good because you never saw the results of that poll. And they said, well, this guy, these people, they have the juice. We'll hitch onto them. Well, now he gets into the State House and he gets told by Thompson and Bray and those guys, here's what you're going to do. And that he's just morphed into the new box. It's exactly what Dan Stock talked about. It's that psychosis of tyranny thing. And at this point, the only recourse for us, our audience, because he's not changing, he's not going to call a special session, he's not going to try to fix this thing, is to just make this guy as miserable as we possibly can until they do the right thing. And if that's a year, fine. If that's 2 years, fine. You can't believe them. You can't trust them. You just have to try to ruin their day every single day until they actually do the thing.
Well, you said that he latched onto an issue. He was in Washington, D.C. for years. How would he know what the issues are in Indiana?
And again, it comes back to people, well, you told us to vote. What other option did you have? You were going to vote for rainwater? Really? I mean, that's why, and so many people have stepped up on social media when these rainwater people come in and go, we told you. We sat right here and asked Don Rainwater about his plan and said, how do you pay for it? And he went, what do you cut, Don? Your lieutenant governor basically declared it Hunger Games in a debate where the local governments will. He wasn't a serious candidate. He wasn't a serious option. The only logical path to try to get property tax reform was to try to get this guy in the fold, to try to show him where the people were. And we did that to the best of our ability. It ultimately didn't work. And so now the only approach that you as the listener can have, the only approach we as this radio show can have, is whether it's these members of the General Assembly, not named Andrew Ireland or Mike Young or to some extent Craig Haggard. You just ruin their day every day. You see them out. You tell them what you think of them. You do not give these people any respect whatsoever. You don't give these people any deference whatsoever. You don't have any niceties with these people whatsoever, because clearly the polling or the survey from Abdul showed we all feel the same way. Why are you worried about speaking your mind? 80% of the people hate Diego, yet nobody will ask him who paid for your trip to India. Why? I don't know.
So we thought we were going to have a chance to maybe ask the governor last night at the Front Porch Patriots event about his plan. That was canceled due to the possibility of inclement weather. But he is going to be at the groundbreaking ceremony today down at the Leap District at 2:30.
What groundbreaking? Oh, Eli Lilly.
Mm-hmm.
So Eli Lilly is doing what, a $4 billion?
$4.5 billion.
$4.5
billion.
Yeah. And we don't know how much money you gave them as a taxpayer because it's all shrouded in mystery because the IEDC doesn't have to tell you.
That was nice of you, by the way.
Yes, thank you. It's
for you to help them with that.
So if somebody goes, I mean, it's believed hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars were spent to facilitate Eli Lilly's $4.5 billion facility opening in the Leap District, which will be great for the people of Boone County. Horrible for the farmers, but for the people of Lebanon, the actual city of Lebanon, probably going to be fantastic. You paid for it. The whole state subsidized that. But maybe somebody can ask Braun why he refuses to. Well, first of all, ask him his comment that 70% of the people hate his guts. Ask him that. Start by asking that. Then you can ask him why he continues to go forward with something that 85% of the people hate, according to that survey, which is the property tax. They blame the General Assembly for that, but over 80% hate the thing itself.
Then maybe somebody can ask him where Diego was.
Yes,
or who paid for Diego's trip to India.
This government is a complete dumpster fire. So what? We've got audio of Ryan Mishler. No, we want to get this out there. We were scheduled to talk to Micah. We were in the process of talking to Micah. All of our phones, just like everything else around here, stopped working. So it's not Micah's fault that he's not on with us today, isn't dodging us, isn't ducking us.
Yeah, we tried to reschedule, but he's already committed to other things.
And that's not his fault. So no, I don't want anybody to think that Micah didn't hold up his end of the bargain to do the thing. And we were having a very spirited conversation about this audio we're going to play for you at 9:30, which is this chucklehead Ryan Mishler, who voted to gut Senate Bill 1, which would have helped you with property taxes, now starting a new lie, which is he wants to get out of property taxes.
Wow, polar opposites, right?
Isn't that amazing? Once the session's over, we should get rid of property taxes. And by the way, my favorite part is
where'd you get that idea?
Rokita's there in this video behind him nodding like it's like a bobblehead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we'll since
we'll
Michael
get to that.
We'll play it at 9:30.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
President Trump
wants to reopen Alcatraz, house America's most ruthless and violent offender.
Hear the news.
Indiana Pacers beat the Cleveland Cavs. We came out, played with a lot of confidence, and led to good things for us. So we're making shots like that. We're tough to beat. Cavs lose home court advantage in the series.
As events happen,
Mike Pence receiving Profile and Courage Award.
We'll happen to be there.
By God's grace, I did my duty that day.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
It's May in Indiana, and I'm betting the floors in your home would appreciate a good cleaning. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and there is no better go-to resource for cleaning those floors than ZeroRez. They can handle virtually every surface in your home. Carpets, tile and grout, hardwood, laminate, stone, upholstery, rugs, even your air ducts. Before we get any closer to summer, you can get 3 rooms Zero-Resified for just $129, and you can take $75 off air duct cleaning too. ZeroRez means zero residue, and it's the water they use. They don't need soap or solvents to really clean your surfaces. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, just healthy, fresh surfaces. ZeroRez cleans our floors, and I'll tell you that it is simply amazing, and it works. Don't take my word for it. Just check out 4,900 plus 5-star Google reviews. Call now, mention WIBC, get 3 rooms cleaning starting at just $129 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141, online at zeroresindy.com.
At Hendricks, your cancer care is in the details.
You have questions, and our dedicated clinicians and expert oncologists will answer them.
You have hills to climb, and we are going to climb them.
You have dreams, and we're here to help you chase them. You have cancer, and you have all the expertise,
The determination, and the kindness of the entire Hendricks team.
Backed by Mayo Clinic expertise.
It's not just cancer care.
It's Teresa Care. Visit hendricks.org/cancer.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
For the biggest selection of Mother's Day gifts, shop Cynthia's Hallmark at 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
Join our B&W Premier Club for additional benefits and exclusive discounts.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, 317-214-0108, your American Standard air dealer.
Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
Can you name the 2 very high-profile movies in prominent scenes this song was the background music for?
Was Silence of the Lambs one of them?
That's one. Where the senator's daughter is driving down the road. She gets kidnapped by Buffalo Bill, right? Yeah. And then the other one.
I feel like it's a Tom Cruise movie.
No, it is a teen movie. It's a coming-of-age movie.
Oh.
Early 1980s.
Oh.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
Coming of age. It's not like Breakfast Club or
No.
something like that.
It's before
80s.
the Breakfast Club. No, this movie blows the Breakfast Club out of the water.
I don't know. What is it?
Kev, do you know? Are you aware of the movie that this is the backing track to a very prominent scene in the movie, a coming of age movie, early 1980s, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Fast Times at Richmond High.
Bingo! That's right. Yeah. Good job, Kevin. Kevin wins.
Thank you.
How did you? I'm very impressed. You knew that.
I'm a big fan of the movie.
That's right.
And I know you're a big fan.
That's
too.
right. Yes.
What scene was it in Fast Times at Richmond
I think
High?
it's when he's pulling up to high school when Brad is pulling up to the first day of school. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at you, full of trivia.
Well,
speaking of being in your car,
stay away from the north side.
Slow down. Speed cameras, they're going to start issuing tickets. Well, they've already started. Actually, they were starting that yesterday. This is to drivers that are speeding through any major construction zone on the northeast side of Indianapolis.
As if you needed another reason to stay away from the north side. So how does it work now? Now you get a 1 warning. Is that right?
If you're caught going more than 11 miles per hour over the speed limit while workers are present, you could face a fine of up to $150.
But I think you get a warning, don't you? I think you get
a little slap on the wrist.
I think you get 1 warning.
So NDOT began sending warning letters to violators back in January.
Right, but there was no fine. I'm saying now the process. Does it say the process? I don't think they immediately fine you. I think now you get a warning, and then after the first warning, I think then the fines start rolling in.
No, I believe the fines are rolling in now.
There's no more warning?
The warning started in January. They're done warning you. Now it's just straight to ticket.
Okay, so here's my issues with
NDOT
this.
said they already sent out over 90,000 notices.
Okay, but here's my issue with this, with the speed cams, because I went through this and obviously obeying all applicable rules and regulations. I went through the area, this was a month or 2 ago. My issue is a flow of traffic issue, which is I came off an exit and the sign was right there. So that's a little rough. Like you come right off an exit, you have to get your speed up to begin with. And then the camera was right there. So that's a little rough. But the flow of traffic. There were people who were going past me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think without a control of the flow of traffic, you're actually creating more of a danger by having people who are actually obeying the law, or I think actually putting themselves in danger. I don't know. Maybe people are hearing that going, Rob is totally off base on that. I just felt like as a law-abiding citizen, I was putting myself in danger because the other motorists appeared not to understand or be processing
pay any attention
the rules on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they did have this pre-enforcement phase where they were sending out the letters, a warning, but now 11 miles per hour. We've had that discussion many times. If you're speeding, like what's the comfortable?
Well, right here, Casey, it says the first violation is a warning with no fine. The second carries a $75 fine, and a third and subsequent violation comes with a $150 fine. So you will still, according to WRTV, you will still get one more warning, and then they will start fining you. But you understand what I'm saying? Like the idea of if you got to somehow control the flow of traffic, because if everybody else continues to either ignore it or whatever, I felt like I was putting myself at risk by being a good member.
By being responsible.
Being a decent member of society.
You feel like that often. You're always putting yourself at risk by being responsible.
That's why I just avoid the north side.
Okay, so the conclave to elect a new pope begins tomorrow to select a successor to Pope Francis. And
what's your over-under on how many days it takes? You are the resident Catholic expert of this program.
Well, when they picked Francis, they did it on day 2.
Oh.
So on the first day, starting tomorrow, they just do one vote on the first day. So if they don't have it tomorrow, I'm going to say they're going to do it on day 1.
You think they'll get a winner on day 1?
I'm going to go with tomorrow.
2/3 of the Cardinals have to pick somebody.
Yep. So they have 135 Cardinals that are under the age of 80 that are eligible to vote. 2 of those won't be attending, so that leaves 133 Cardinals.
Won't be attending? What is this like? What is that? What's the lone survivor or designated survivor?
Right.
Or one of the Cardinals has to be in a bunker somewhere in case there's some sort of attack?
Yeah. So out of the 133, 108 of them were appointed by Pope Francis, representing over 80% of the voters.
There's 133 voters, is that right?
133 voters. 108 of them were appointed by Pope Francis. So I feel like they're gonna come to a consensus easily.
You got to get 88 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now my other question to you is this. In a caucus, when a politician quits or whatever, and there's a caucus to replace them with the precinct committeeman, the candidates get up and give a speech right before the vote. Are all of these Pope candidates getting up and giving speeches saying, pick me, I'm the best, here's why I'd be the best Pope? Is that how it works, or they just all meet, you've already done your lobbying?
I wonder, they probably talk like in little groups.
They huddle.
Yeah. There's little segments, and they say, okay, well, we've got like 20 of us over here, and we all think it should be this person.
Because Hammer wants that pizza balla guy.
Yeah. According to the Catholic Herald, he was one of the ones that was...
Ascending?
Yes.
Ascending?
Very good. There's also one from the Philippines, Tagle. He's a leading candidate. You've also got Turkson and Ambongo. Ambongo. Yeah. So...
Wait. What about the guy from New Guinea? Isn't there a black guy from New Guinea that's super conservative?
Are you
Sarah, yes.
Yeah, that's one.
That's who I'm going for.
So the Cardinals, they represent 71 different countries, and there are 10 Americans that will be voting on this.
10 Americans.
10 Americans.
Very good. All right. Okay, so do we have this audio from Ryan Mishler? Kev, do we have this ready to go?
Yeah.
Well, not right now. I mean, you can take a commercial break. I'm just saying when we come back. So Ryan Mishler is one of these dirty, rotten, no good
Indiana senator,
scumbag senators that voted to gut Senate Bill 1, take all the property tax relief away from you, then voted to give it to his big business buddies. Now he's out giving a speech where he now wants you to believe he wants to get rid of property taxes. Shall we play this so I can voice some frustration?
Yes, I think so. That's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An important meeting with the president. Cloudy sky, 51 degrees on Monument Circle. Your high today, 70. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:31. President Donald Trump planning to meet with the Canadian Prime Minister at the White House today.
Sometimes these meetings at the White House are scheduled after a deal has been agreed to, but according to Prime Minister Carney, the two sides are still a ways apart.
We're meeting as heads of our government to discuss that partnership. Now, I'm not pretending those discussions will be easy or they won't proceed in a straight line. There'll be zigs and zags, ups and downs.
The number one point of contention today, U.S. automakers moving operations north. Fifth in the last month and a half as a comeback when President Trump inevitably says today that he thinks he should be the governor of the 51st state of Canada.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. Gas is $3.14 a gallon this morning, says Gas Buddy. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. The Dow down 330 points this morning, 41,218. The S&P 500 also down 53.5 at 5650. And the NASDAQ, it's down as well, 255 points to 19,967. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Is that fine?
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds May 9th through 17th for Dana Mecum's 38th Original Spring Classic. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. And with more than 3,000 vehicles up for auction, it's a chance to bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy tickets now at Mecum.com. That's Mecum.com.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
You know, it takes a special kind of person. You gotta turn your microphone on.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of person to be able to screw over their fellow man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not talking like 3 fellow men. We're talking millions of their fellow man. And then waltz right back out in front of a room full of people or a group of people and say the exact opposite of what you just did.
Right. Well, I would ask you, are you talking about someone specific?
Well, these lawmakers as a collective, and it comes back to that phrase, which is the new favorite phrase of the show. By the way, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey, which is that psychosis of tyranny phrase that Dr. Dan Stock presented with us yesterday in addressing the governor's ability to know that everyone hates him and they knows why they hate him and yet refuse to move off the thing that everybody is livid about, which is everybody believes, rightfully so, they got screwed on property taxes.
Right.
And basically, again, the what he was saying is the governor knows this, but he has conditioned his brain, and Dr. Stock was literally saying you can condition your brain to be this way. Politicians do this, to where you only are processing the information that fits the narrative you want. So in the case of Braun or these lawmakers, there's 10% of the bill that's probably pretty good, okay, maybe even 20, right? The referendum language stuff, that's all fine. But what they're doing is they're ignoring the 80% that is going to screw people, and they're only focusing on the 20, and their messaging is all about the 20, ignoring the 80%.
Well, yeah, it sounds like a typical 80-20 rule, right?
And so Ryan Mishler, he's one of these big muckety mucks in the Senate, one of these high climbers. He's elevating himself up the leadership hierarchy in the Senate. He was at some event. I don't know if it was a fundraiser or what. Rokita's in the background nodding like a bobblehead as he's talking.
Do we know where this was?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It looked like it was some sort of, I mean, people were taking photographs. I don't know. But this is a guy who just voted to screw you on property taxes. He voted to gut your reset, the reset of the bill. He voted for the final bill, which will raise income taxes, which will totally screw you. And yet, as you'll hear right here, he's talking with these people and saying with a straight face, looking right at them, I'd really like to get out of property taxes. It's the audio is not great, but if you listen close enough, you can hear it. Take a listen to this.
All I hear is problems with the assessments of property and people get into their homes, and after a certain time they're on fixed income, they can't afford them anymore.
Okay, pause just real quick. So he's saying, all I hear is there's problem with the assessments. Yes, Einstein.
No kidding.
That's what we were saying the whole time for the past 5 months, that it is called unrealized capital gains tax, on which you are being taxed for something someone else does.
Right.
Your taxes go up based on someone else selling their home, which is how the assessments are done.
Right.
No it, Sherlock. But they did nothing. This guy just said, all I hear is, what did you do to address that issue? Nothing. Go ahead, Kevin.
And so I started working on a new plan to have 100% homestead deduction.
Pause.
So what did he say? I started working on a new plan to have 100% homestead
deduction.
Oh, deduction.
Which would be a
Got
plan
it.
to get you out of property taxes.
Right.
Why didn't you do it this session?
Why were you working on that plan before?
So this is some.
Oh, is this an issue?
So you vote.
Is this a problem?
You voted to gut the thing that would have very quickly moved us towards that, which was the bill resets. You didn't want that, but you're working very hard on a plan that would have been much further along if you had voted to do the thing that was presented to you.
I'm going to get on that with thinking.
All right, go ahead, Kevin.
So every family gets one deduction. And then, corporations would still pay property tax, your investment income, or your investment property is your second property. Because if we do away with like our second largest tax, one thing I learned that keeps our bond rating high and why we're doing so well, we have a broad range of taxes. We keep them all low, but we have a large range to choose from. And if we do away with some of those...
Oh, wait a minute.
If we keep, he actually admitted, I want a large range of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, right?
Yeah,
we heard that.
We've got a large range to choose from.
So he's not talking about actually cutting government.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about just shifting the tax burden.
Where they get the revenue from.
Yeah, they're not cutting any taxes. They're not cutting any government. They're not making anything more accountable. This is why, like, when people are coming out, the Gravy Train Brigade people saying, well, Braun did cut some government. Then why did he have to raise taxes to balance his budget? Does that make any sense to anyone that he cut the government, but he had to raise taxes to pay for less government? No, of course not. These people are gaslighting you. They're lying right to your face. They are laughing at your misery at this point, where they are saying, ha, 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 what are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, this guy just went out and did this. I don't, and Braun doesn't care, and the General Assembly doesn't care. And I thought we should play that for everybody, that these people, I would love for your relative to hook that guy up to a lie detector.
Right.
For those of you who missed, a couple weeks ago, we had Casey's relative who works for the federal government who administers polygraphs to people they believe are perhaps not fully engaged in
suffering from psychosis of tyranny.
The truth. And I would love for her to hook that guy up to a lie detector to see if Ryan Mishler could actually pass a lie detector that he wants to get out of property taxes.
Okay, so what made him change his mind? He went from gutting Senate Bill 1 to now saying 100% deduction.
Right. And again, I love that on the internet and in the stratosphere of unknown and unidentifieds, somehow this is all my fault. So if someone had a better plan, Rainwater is not a better plan because he was not a serious candidate. He did not raise any money. He did not organize. When he was asked about his plan, he had no answers. And then when he got caught having managed his personal finances like a 9-year-old, he ran from everybody. So the good thing is, going forward, and I don't speak for Casey. We don't ever want to lump Casey in with what I'm doing. Casey's, her own independent person. I'm no longer a part of the solution. I'm on a kamikaze mission. So I am.
Is that what you're doing?
I am Randy Quaid at the end of Independence Day. Hello, boys, I'm back. And so next year...
Well, you tried working with them.
I did. And so going forward, somebody else will have the plan. So Tony in the YouTube chat, you can come up with the plan next year. Or
Does
anybody
Tony
else.
Have a plan?
Well, he's saying that I commanded we all do this, as though I have some magic wand, some spell... hypnotic.
Did you do an Expelliarmus on everyone?
A what?
It's a Harry Potter spell. Expelliarmus.
Oh.
I don't know.
I've never seen a Harry Potter movie.
Never, not one.
And I've never also never seen a Star Wars movie from start to finish. That's what they do in Harry Potter. Expelliarmus.
Yeah, it's a spell. So you did not do that though. You didn't put everybody under a spell.
No, I offered you the reality, which was the only possible way you might get property tax reform. We pushed that as far as we could. It didn't work. So the good news is it's like, when you're the president of the Little League or you run the concession stand and everybody says you suck at it and you just want to get out of that thing because you didn't want to do it to begin with, but you did it out of a sense of obligation. The good news is next year somebody else can run the Little League concession stand. I'm not running it anymore. I'm done with that.
You're
so
tapping
I am
out.
on a professional kamikaze mission henceforth to take as many of these people down as I possibly can. I have no obligation or responsibility to find compromise, solutions, anything else. All y'all can take control, and I'll just be over here doing my thing in the corner.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 306 this afternoon. If you missed the announcement, our show will be live at Carb Day. Shout out to Hensley Legal Group, 93 WIBC.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Greetings, Boomtown. Ever since this neighborhood switched to Xfinity Internet,
the Wi-Fi is booming!
Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile with one all-in plan.
So we've all got lightning-fast, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go with Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile.
You get the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best in-class equipment and unlimited data included. Plus, add an unlimited mobile line.
All for only $40 a month for 1 year. To celebrate this combo, we're mashing our shows together.
It's everything you need all in one plan. Plus, learn how to get a free 5G phone with a premium unlimited line. Now, sit back and relax with the smooth, relaxing sound
of face-melting acid metal!
Brilliant.
Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Ends June 23rd with paperless billing and autopay stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet gateway required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years regular rates apply. Actual Wi-Fi speeds vary. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report August 2024.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Big stories locally, big moves in Washington. WIBC.com keeps you updated throughout the day with all the news that matters, plus traffic, weather, and more. On your phone, your laptop, wherever you are. It's news when you need it.
Hey, can we go back to something we touched on earlier?
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, you talked about how the speed cameras across, well, they're at various locations across the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, but the prominent one for our listeners is North Side 465 are now in effect. You still get a warning, but then the fine is on the second one.
Yep, 11 miles per hour over the speed limit. While workers are present, you could face a fine of up to $150.
Okay, and so I'd said I drove through that one time a couple months ago, and I thought they're actually creating a hazard for the drivers because the speed limit is 45, and I, of course, was doing applicable speed limits because you don't even know what their radar is. So if you're you can go 10 over. You shouldn't go 10 over because what if their radar's 1 or 11 over, whatever. It's 10 over, right? You can go 10 over. Is that correct? Is that right?
It's 11.
11. You can go 11 over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, whatever. I'm not getting anywhere close to that because I'm not going down. So I had a real problem with everybody blowing past me because I'm trying to obey trying to obey the law. And Carl, Tony's producer, has been caught up in this, and he's got a bunch of issues with it as well, right?
Yeah, so I got the warning in January, and I know it's January because it was snowing.
So it brings me to this little caveat where the workers have got to be present in order for this thing to be in effect. And you're saying there was no way there were workers present.
It was snowing pretty good. It was snowing pretty good.
So they weren't out actually constructing at the moment, but you still
at the
got
time,
the warning.
this was brand new. They started giving out warnings in January, so I wasn't really paying attention to my speed. I was driving the speed that was applicable to the conditions, and people are going to be going driving fast in snow is not good. But I was driving 56. Normally on 465, you're driving 70, right? So I was driving 56, and I got the warning.
Okay, so this is my question, though, how do you prove, or is the onus on the state to prove that there was a worker present? So let's say I'm in violation of this. It's the second time they send me a fine. If I go, oh, heck no, there were no workers present, do they got to go find Larry and get Larry to come to court and go,
show
Larry?
His time card? Yeah.
I mean, how do they actually enforce this, because the law says there has to be workers present?
I think the judge would rule against you. They would just say, don't be driving fast in a worker.
But that's not the law. The law says don't be driving fast. This is with workers present. I'm not giving these. Now, look, I don't. That's why I don't go to the north side anyway. But you agree with me. They're creating havoc for drivers based on how fast some of these people are actually going and continuing to go.
Yeah, if you're the slow guy, just think about it. If you're a real slow guy, people are going around you, and that's creating a potential danger.
Yeah.
As they're passing you.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying.
And
nobody cares about my safety.
I want to add, you really can't go that fast because there's barriers on both sides. So you're not going to be driving that fast anyways. I think 45 is really low. It's a speed trap.
Thank you. See, that's it. Because going 50 or even 55, that's not speeding. Yeah, you're going 70. Okay, that's pretty fast in a construction zone. Yes. But going 50,
I got tagged at 56. So they sent
that's
me
exactly
a
11 over.
Yeah.
Right. So you could go 10 over and you're still fine. It's 11. But my concern is, what if the car that I drive, it doesn't have power locks or windows.
Right.
What if the odometer is too off? While it would be safe to go 9 over and be with the flow of traffic, I'm not risking that because I'm not giving them any leverage whatsoever. Also, it makes me panic because I'm a notorious rule follower and I'm worried that I'm doing something wrong even when I know. And then I'm looking at the odometer the whole time rather than looking at the road.
And there's no cruise control on your car. Be able to set that.
There's barely a steering wheel.
What did the letter say, Carl? What did the warning say?
This is a warning.
Okay.
This is a warning. You're driving fast in a construction zone.
Don't do it again.
And it's very clear. I mean, you see your license and everything. So those
could
cameras
you see
are
yourself?
Really.
They sent a picture.
They sent a picture of the back of my car, so they show the license. So there's no debate that it's you.
How does the camera hit the back of the license? Because the camera is they put a sign up, and there's the camera. You can see when you're going past because it's marked with a neon something or other.
So they clearly have two sets of cameras. Or a radar. They've got a radar that clocks you and then a camera on the back that takes a snap of you.
Bingo. Now, this is my other question. We need to get an attorney on. Maybe we'll have Rutherford come on and talk about this. The radar is not being manned by a law enforcement official. So I would think you could challenge that because there's nobody to testify in support of that radar. It's not like there's a cop sitting there manning the radar.
FYI, I've gone to traffic court in California. The judge will just smile and say you lose. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't think you can really. I really don't think you can challenge easily.
But if there's no construction worker, which is the law, how am I breaking the law if you can't find one guy, Harold or Lenny or whoever,
somebody who was there,
was out there working?
Yeah.
I think you ought to press this, Carl.
I got a warning. I didn't get a ticket.
He didn't get a ticket.
That's what I'm saying.
Twice. I'm avoiding it now. I'm not going back.
Well, you live in Carmel.
Yes.
So has that disrupted your route to your house?
I normally take the west side of 465 just to avoid this mess. But in this particular case, I was going up to Noblesville, and that's why I got tagged.
It was unavoidable. Had to go that way.
Yeah.
This is a money grab.
He's changing the way he drives now because of this.
Yeah, this is a money grab.
You think so?
They're using the safety of these workers as a human shield.
Just wait if they put tolls on 465. pictures going out everywhere.
You quiet.
That's what they do with open tolling. They just take a picture of your license.
Stop, Casey. I can't. The phones weren't working this morning. I can't. Don't. All right. Ryan Hedrick is going to join us next from the WIBC Newsroom. He has got a 12-step plan to help these politicians recover from screwing us over all the time.
All right. That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
The heart of a mom gives everything: her time, her love, her prayers. And just like Jesus showed us the power of selfless love, many moms and mother figures demonstrate it every day. Whether it's a hug, a call, or a simple thank you, let her know she's cherished. Consider bringing her to church. She would love the time with you to sit and consider the deep things of God. So celebrate her, celebrate love, and give thanks to the one who gave us both, Jesus. LifeChurchIN.com.
This is Indianapolis. All around town, the checkered flags are out, porch parties abound, and everyone's invited. And this is the Indy 500, where we see what humans can accomplish in concert with twin turbocharged V6 engines and Firestone tires. This is the Brickyard, where they've been racing since before any of us were born. This is Speed City. Welcome to May.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $105,575, Nautilus MSRP $61,995, Corsair MSRP $47,820. Offers good through May 31st, 2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
For the biggest selection of Mother's Day gifts, shop Cynthia's Hallmark at 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, Indy Police responding to multiple overnight shootings. More on that deadly shooting outside the Hendricks County Courthouse. Eli Lilly making big money moves, and what it'll take for the Pacers to go up 2-0 tonight against the Cavs. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Questions for cabinet members.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. 4 secretaries will testify this morning at House hearings, including Kristi Noem, the head of Homeland Security, who could spar with Democrats over the new plan to get more illegal immigrants out.
Paying for the commercial flights of migrants who are in the country illegally if they choose to self-deport. The administration will also pay them a $1,000 stipend once they're confirmed to have left the United States.
Fox's Madeline Rivera.
Migrants who want to use this option must register their intent to self-deport on the CBP Home app.
Yeah, that app has been revised and redone. In the Biden presidency, it was used to help migrants come here and apply for asylum. Also testifying this morning, the Agriculture and Veterans Affairs secretaries and the head of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, no doubt facing questions about trade and Trump tariffs. Now, the president will be discussing those next hour when Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, goes to the White House.
After his recent election victory, Carney said he was prepared to have difficult but constructive conversations in Washington. The meeting comes as Democrat governors from 6 U.S. states invited Canadian provincial leaders to Boston to discuss the impact of Trump's tariffs while criticizing the pressure the administration has placed on their relationship.
Fox's Brooke Sigmund. Another 200-plus flights canceled or delayed this morning at Newark, New Jersey's airport, still dealing with an air traffic controller shortage that was made even worse by what happened last week.
Controllers lost contact with the planes under their control. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association says the outage lasted even longer at 90 seconds, adding, quote, due to the event, the controllers took absence under the Federal Employees Compensation Act. This program covers all federal employees that are physically injured or experience a traumatic event on the job.
That's Fox's Nate Foy at the Newark airport. Israel's been attacking Yemen for a second day. Airstrikes have disabled the airport in Sana'a. Israel's also attacked Iran-backed Houthi militants who launched a missile over the weekend hitting near Tel Aviv's airport, disrupting flights. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An active scene throughout the city overnight. Mostly cloudy, 52 on Monument Circle, 70 the high today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Indy police responding to multiple shootings throughout the city beginning in the 11 o'clock hour into about 2:30 this morning. In 3 separate cases, 3 men were shot and injured. All 3 expected to be okay. Gunfire at the Hendricks County Courthouse. John Herrick reports on what happened Monday afternoon.
2 Hendricks County deputies were transporting a group of inmates to the courthouse for court proceedings around 1 o'clock. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says when they arrived at the courthouse, they took out all the inmates and started walking inside.
At which time we believe they were confronted by this man who was at the courthouse already, outside the courthouse. The man displayed a firearm.
Then Perrine says the man was shot and killed by one of the deputies. It's not clear if he was pointing his gun at the inmates or the police. Now the cops are looking through surveillance video for more information. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The deceased man identified as 65-year-old Mark Vaulter of Plainfield. Eli Lilly and Company expanding on their work in Boone County. This afternoon, local and state officials will be breaking ground on a new $4.5 billion medicine foundry in Lebanon. The investment brings the pharmaceutical giant's total investment to the Leap District area there to over $13 billion. And the Indiana Pacers are looking to go up 2-0 in their series against the Cavs tonight in Cleveland. Head coach Rick Carlisle says it usually comes down to turnovers, which Indiana had more than a dozen of Sunday night.
When you have turnovers, you got to mitigate it other ways. You know, we had a good shot-making night, and we did some other things well, but we're gonna have to clean a lot of things up for Game 2.
Tip-off of Game 2 tonight, set for 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Hey, will you be filing for Social Security in the next 5 years? The amount of lifetime income you get from Social Security could vary by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And basically, it all boils down to not only your timing, but also coordinating taxes, spousal benefits, IRAs, 401k withdrawals, and much more. Hammer and Nigel here. You got to make sure you get every penny that's rightfully yours with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery.
We trust Bill Demery, and you can too. And if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. This analysis could help you get hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income, and it's free. Schedule it right now, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
We are going to stop these politicians from screwing up us if it's the last thing we do, Casey.
Yeah, we're going to try anyway.
We're going to throw everything we have. We're just going to keep throwing things at the wall.
All you've got.
Seeing what sticks. And I think this next segment, I think, is going to be pretty darn enlightening on how just how ridiculous these politicians are and what we got to do to get them in line.
Okay.
And our old pal Ryan Hedrick, newsman extraordinaire from the WIBC newsroom, joins us now. Ryan Hedrick, hello.
What's up, Rob? What's up, Casey?
Hello.
Now, you are quite open that you struggled for many years with drug addiction.
Yep.
And you do a very fabulous podcast with Matt Baer, Supporting Sobriety, which you can get wherever you get your podcast, where you walk people through your experiences, things that you learn, things that you wish you'd been able to do better, and hopefully help people who are struggling with addiction.
Yeah, it's a blueprint for caregivers not to get manipulated and tormented like we tormented our parents, our loved ones. I mean, I had this conversation with my mom the other day, and the level of stuff that I put her through really could have ended her life early with all the stress and stuff like that. So it's a blueprint. You know, it's a tutorial for caregivers to say, I don't have to accept it. There's a way out, and there's help for you.
And so these politicians are addicted to power. They're addicted to, I don't know if fame is the right word, but they're addicted to people.
Notoriety.
Thank you. Smooching their butt cheeks and telling them how great they are, and they're willing to totally hose us over in the process. And you had said to me, you said, well, you know, part of my recovery was the 12-step process.
Yeah, I think if everybody had a 12-step process in their life, I think the world would benefit from the 12 steps of any program. And you're talking about admitting your powerlessness and giving your life to the God of your understanding, and then making an inventory. I'm glossing over this before we get into the specifics, but these are real principles that everyday principled people use. But you and I both know that politicians aren't necessarily principled people.
So what you did is you took the 12-step program that you have been through and has worked resounding results for both you and Matt Baer.
And that I practice every day in my everyday life.
And you said, I'm going to make one specifically for these politicians.
And I did.
I can't wait to get to number 8.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, number 1, admit the disconnect.
Yeah, so this is derived from we admitted our powerlessness and our lives have become unmanageable. So basically what we're asking people to do is stop cheering for the sound bites. Like we hear, I don't mean to pick on our president, but he has some great sound bites, right? And everything he does is in a 10 to 15 second sound bite. So before you're wowed by all of that, do some homework and check into these backgrounds of these people. These people are funded by big donors, and they're just taken over by money. They're not taken over by principles.
Okay, so a great example of this would be the segment we did last hour where Ryan Mishler, state senator, who voted to screw everybody on property taxes, is at some event, and he goes, I've got a plan to get us out of property taxes. The people should not be cheering for that because you already had a chance to do this, and you didn't do it.
No, what they really want to do is get a spot on one of our newscasts where we're playing this over and over and over. So what we're asking people to do is demand substance.
Yeah.
Demand substance to what these people are saying.
Well, you're not supposed to make big moves out loud. Why would you announce that you're making a plan?
Right.
Wait until the plan has been made.
All right, number 2, believe leadership is more than likes.
Yeah, support people with integrity. You know, you see some of these people, you might see them out at a church or at a restaurant, and if they say they're married and they don't have a wedding ring on, or you don't see them with their significant other, or maybe they owe back child support, maybe that's a red light indicator that something is going on and their leadership is not all it's cracked up to be.
Ryan Hedrick is our guest. He has prepared a 12-step program for our politicians to hopefully cure themselves of the ills of being addicted to fame and power and notoriety and screwing us over in the process. All right, number 1, admit the disconnect. Number 2, believe leadership is more than likes. Number 3, choose to lead with integrity.
Yeah, bold leadership. You know, that's what's missing, and that comes from we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So in a 12-step program, before you make the decision to turn your will over to God and let God guide your really misguided deeds, right? Because we're destructive. Our will is destructive. We're asking you to just come to believe, come to the process that you could actually think that something greater than you can guide you in your decision making, which people don't.
Number 4, take inventory.
Yeah. So we need to dig deeper into people's records. Don't read the headlines.
Yeah.
Look into their campaign finance reports. Look into all of that stuff. See who's funding these people before you get to a point where you're checking the box and you're stepping into this booth on voting day and you don't know who the heck these people are.
Number 5. Oh, this is a big one. Own the mess.
So hold people accountable. Have honest conversations. Don't count on somebody's nice attire, their 3-piece suits, their glittery diamonds in their ears. You know, don't count on that fake image stuff to buy your vote, because your vote is precious.
All right, so again, Ryan Hedrick is our guest. We're going through the 12-step program that addicts go through, and Ryan has applied this to our politicians, hopefully to try to cure them of the ills of screwing humanity, and then also what we should be doing as we're the caregivers, basically.
Yeah, we are the caregivers, basically. We are absolutely caring for people who, in some cases, can't care for themselves.
Admit the disconnect. Believe leadership is more than likes. Choose to lead with integrity. Take inventory. Own the mess. Number 6, check your ego.
Oh, yeah. How many times are we just wowed by a large social media presence? Like, this person has 1 million followers on X or Instagram, and wow, and we just see them out in public, and we're blinded by that celebrity status. I mean, when you were serving office, did you think you were a celebrity? I mean, you talk about it all the time, giving people the power to decide.
Yeah, we used to, we obviously make tons of jokes about it, but we made jokes about it because there are people who genuinely, even though they were, a county council member or something, believed that they were some sort of power broker. We used to make the jokes about, well, I'd ride around with those UN flags on my car because of diplomatic immunity. But there are people who genuinely believe that. You're right, Ryan, that they're some sort of, higher being because they serve on a municipal board or a local mayor.
Forgetting that they're public servants.
That's right.
Yeah, AOC was at the Met Gala last year with the big expensive dress that said tax the rich. I mean, she's a prime example of how politicians think they're celebrity status.
Number 7, and now they're starting to be in bold, ask for help.
Yeah, you have to ask for help. Speak up, your voice matters, and know that what you say carries weight. Show up at meetings when, even if they're at noon or at 1, I know a lot of these city councils and county councils have meetings in the middle of the day when it inconveniences you, but take some time off, because it could result in your property taxes going up if people are passing stuff you don't understand.
Casey, I know number 8 is one that's very close to your heart.
I can't wait to hear what he says about it.
Would you like to read it for the audience?
Well, it's making amends to the people you've harmed.
Yeah,
is what I have. Is that what you have?
Know who you've hurt.
Yeah, you have to own up to. You have to, as a recovering addict, we have to own up to who we've hurt. It doesn't mean that we have to go to these people directly and say, I'm sorry, but it begins the process of patching up that relationship.
So let's take the governor, for example. The governor, if he had any decency about him and wanted to really make amends, would come to me and say, Rob, I'm sorry that I lied to you for 9 months. I'm sorry that I misled you and had you mislead your audience. I'm sorry I didn't follow through. I'm sorry I didn't do the things that I promised. Like, that would be a good step for the governor.
It would be, but that's actually a direct amends. If I were him, what I would do is I would send Rob and Casey a text message separately and personally apologizing for misleading.
Yeah.
And then I would set up a face-to-face date to come into the studio, or maybe even take you guys out to lunch and share why he wronged you or how he wronged you. And
how do you make amends? How do you make amends on a large scale, though? Because I feel like that apology is needed to the voters.
Yeah, sometimes an amends is best made by not repeating the same behavior that got us to a point where we had to make amends in the first place. So there are some people, and I won't out them publicly, but there are some people in my personal life who I have wronged on such a large and grand and hurtful scale that there's no way that they would even accept a conversation with me. So what do? I treat the next person who may symbolize that other person that I've wronged in not the same way that I treated that previous person. So
Changed behavior.
I correct the behavior so I don't do it again, so I keep hurting people.
Taking corrective action, Rob.
Here's the thing, though, Case.
Yeah.
Ron is really rich. Okay, he's worth like $136 million.
Yeah.
If he did what
You want to go for a helicopter
Ryan
ride or
said, he could take us somewhere really nice to lunch. Like, he could probably afford St. Elmo's.
Sure.
He probably could take us to St. Elmo
Yeah.
and do something really nice for us. So maybe we should open our hearts to
that invitation,
to the opportunity for Braun to make amends with us. It would start with the text message and then a lunch at St. Elmo.
I would point out that these steps are based in spirituality, and if it's not spiritual, Rob, it's not practical. So take the spiritual approach and then the practicality.
I wanted to like you, Ryan Hedrick. I wanted to like you. All right, where were we at? 9, make it right? Is that right?
Yeah, make it right. Follow through. Demand follow through. Not just a press release, because press releases are empty. There's nothing in them. There's a lot of, heck, they could be written by AI, but, following through on a face-to-face basis makes it more real.
If you're just joining us, Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC Newsroom is joining us for this segment. He has prepared a 12-step program for the politicians to try to make amends for screwing all of us, and the steps we should be taking as the caregivers for the politicians to hold them accountable. Number 10, stay honest. Ooh, this is going to be a hard one. Stay honest.
That takes a consistent effort, because any type of continuing inventory, 4 and 10 are similar in words, but they're way different in application. The fourth is that we do that deep dive and we come to terms with what we've done. The 10th step is you continue to take personal inventory, and when you're wrong, you promptly admit it. You admit it right away so that the person that you're wronging again doesn't go back on your 8th and 9th steps.
So, like, theoretically, if you campaigned on fiscal responsibility and you spent $87,000 on a car, it would be best just to own it and be honest about it rather than trying to do word salad and say, well, we sold the existing car back to the state for X amount, so we only paid 63, and the IDOA told us we had to get this, and then the Indy Star has messages where you're asking for bells and whistles. Like, this would be the best, just to stay honest about purchasing the car and what a mistake that was.
Or you just continue the trail of hurt.
That's right. I'm in a trail of hurt right now, Casey.
So it's continual self-reflection.
That's right. Yes. I am currently have been entered into a trail of hurt because our politicians won't stay honest. All right, number 11, stay connected.
Through prayer and meditation. That's the only way all this stuff works. You tie it in with spirituality, you practice your spirituality, and the only way you get good at spirituality and the connection with God is you continue to cultivate it by talking about it, by sharing it. And we want people to engage in elections. Don't just let somebody decide for you. Show up, speak up, and stand up.
And last, pay it forward.
Yeah. And just, support better candidates. Become one.
That's right.
Become one. If you don't like what's going on out there, why don't you run yourself? Start off at the school board level. We all know, given what happened in Virginia with Glenn Youngkin when the year he won the election, school boards won him that election. That issue in Loudoun County, Virginia, won Glenn Youngkin that election. So demand better and become a politician if you don't like what's going on out there.
All right, so here we go. Number 1, admit the disconnect. 2, believe leadership is more than likes. 3, choose to lead with integrity. 4, take inventory. 5, own the mess. 6, check your ego. 7, ask for help. 8, know who you've hurt. 9, make it right. 10, stay honest. 11, stay connected. 12, pay it forward. We got to make this, Kev, Ryan, maybe you guys can communicate on this. We got to make this a post for WIBC with this audio, because this would be very helpful to share with our politicians going forward.
And if there's anybody hurting out there, like anybody at the State House that needs a sponsor, I'm willing, I'm able.
I love that.
Yeah,
Would you
willing, I'm
sponsor
able.
Mike Braun?
I absolutely would sponsor Mike Braun. I'd take him through the 12 steps, and it
Love
would
that.
require a very laser point focus. But I think we could do this, man.
I love
think
this.
We could hook
Yes,
it up.
thank you, Ryan Hedrick. You are the best, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, it is True Crime Tuesday, and we're going to be joined next by Jerry Jameson and talk about his new book, Vanishing Act. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
You understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
when you work,
As long as the category was all Bruce Springsteen all the time.
I told you I think I could win a game of Jeopardy. I could not go on a run.
when you drive home,
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
traffic when you need it,
Stopped on 465 again.
and updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
Promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Kendall and Casey present True Crime Tuesday on 93 WIBC.
Casey, it's that time.
It is. It's Tuesday, and you know what we do at this time on Tuesdays, don't you?
It's True Crime Tuesday, where we take a look back at a case that has captivated the imagination of the American public.
Yeah, and today we're going to examine a case. See what I did there? Examine
See what you
a
did.
case that spanned 39 years.
Yeah, the book, Vanishing Act, a crashed airliner, fake death, and backroom abortions, details the unbelievable life of Robert Spears. The author of the book, Jerry Jameson, joins us now. Jerry, hello.
Well, hello. Thank you very much for having me on. It's a great story to talk about, I got to tell you.
All right, so again, the book is titled Vanishing Act, a crashed airliner, fake death, and backroom abortions. Tell us about Robert Spears and the unbelievable life this guy lived.
Well, it was an unbelievable life. He was the consummate con man, and by that, it's probably hard for your listeners to even grasp how dramatic his life was in terms of cons. It started when he was about 12 years old, and it went until he was in his mid-70s. He was a con every moment of his life. He had 26 different aliases.
Wow.
He was arrested in 20 different cities. He spent 12 prison terms in federal penitentiaries. His entire life was either committing a crime or paying for a crime, and he was completely content with that. He loved his life. Yeah, he's had a great life, and yet it would end in such a tragic manner. His story, I mean, not his life, in such a tragic manner that it just boggles the mind completely.
Okay, so this is really interesting, Jerry. Jerry Jameson is our guest. The book, A Vanishing Act, a crashed airliner, fake death, and backroom abortions, the story of Robert Spears. You hear a lot of times about guys, famous criminals, whatever. They say they're more comfortable being institutionalized than being in decent society. Like they find comfort in prison. This guy sort of strikes me like that no matter how many times he went back, he was just fine being there.
Absolutely, and it is exactly what you described. He was a model prisoner. I mean, he was he became a cook. Everybody raved about his cooking. He was a very affable guy, very charismatic. He was by all accounts, a wonderful human being, except for major flaws. But as far as a personality, he was that way. He would often get 10-year sentence, and after 2 years, he'd be released. He'd go out. He generally made good friends in prison, and as soon as he got out and they got out, they'd start working on some kind of a scam or a con or a crime of some kind, and they would happily do that. They would 100% of the time get arrested and sent back to prison, usually a different prison in a different state, and they just start over again.
Jerry, I'm curious. You said he's wonderful. Okay, if he's such a heck of a guy, what did he do that landed him in jail 12 different times?
Well, he just absolutely loved conning wealthy and stupid people out of their money. And, it's weird. I mean, I have to admit, I kind of developed I worked with this guy for day and night for over a year. And, you develop sort of an affinity. You can't justify what he did, ever. But he was just so darn good at what he did. I mean, he would go to, in fact, in your part of the country, there were a lot of, insurance conventions. This would be in the 1940s and 50s. And, big insurance conventions. And he would set up a hospitality suite, talk about, he's going to get these guys tons of money. They'd come in there, and he said, all you have to do is give me $200 up front. I'm going to make all this stuff happen. He'd make tens of thousands of dollars, and after 3 days, he'd just move on to the next conference. Mm-hmm. And it just was, there was no end to what he would do. In one of these times, I got to tell you, so he's in the middle of we'll call a convention scam, and he moves over to the next city. This is in Kansas. He just moves over to a little rural city, and he gets a little storefront, and he makes himself a guru. Turban, beads, crystal ball, and sets up shop. I can tell the future. The mayor's wife becomes an absolute advocate of his. He tells the future. It's amazing. There's no one like him. And he made, in 3 days, $55,000 in 1950 in 3 days.
Hey, so Jerry Jameson's our guest. It's True Crime Tuesday. He's the author of this super interesting book, Vanishing Act, a crashed airliner, faked death, and backroom abortions. The story of Robert Spears, an incredible con man. When you were dealing with this guy, did you ever find yourself going, I know this guy's full of crap, but gosh darn it, he's so compelling, I can't turn away from him?
Well, if I have to admit that, absolutely. You really feel bad saying, oh, he's such a wonderful creep. He's such an amazing criminal. I just admire him. You do until the last chapters of the story, and then you hate him.
Yeah.
And then you hate him. So I went through a lot of emotions because a lot of the book, which is, the story of his life, starting at age 12. By the way, at age 12, first of all, he never knew what his name was. Never in his entire life did he know what his name was.
What his birth name was.
Yeah, he didn't know anything. His grew up in Oklahoma in extreme poverty. His mother, let's just say, had a lot of boyfriends. And she would just shift him around and change his name with every man she was with. And he didn't go to school, largely. And so he never knew what his name was. His whole life.
You mentioned that he had 23 different aliases. Were they all of the same vein, or were they just random and different?
Yeah, he would just pull out a name anywhere he went. He did this great thing. He was in Detroit, and he got picked up there for some scam. And he said, as soon as he's arrested, he said, well, you can't arrest me because I'm a Canadian citizen. And they were like, oh, didn't realize that. So they ship him across the border into Canada. As soon as he lands there, he says, well, you can't detain me. I'm an American citizen. And they go, oh, didn't realize that. They ship him back. And he's changed his name both of those times. So by the time he gets back to America, they go, well, I don't see where you've been arrested for anything. And they just set him free.
Jerry,
it's amazing.
Jerry, my old man spent 20 years dealing with convicted felons in federal law enforcement. And he used to say all the time that a lot of these guys were some of the brightest, most, just together guys you'd ever meet. And if they'd use their powers for good, there's no telling what they could have done for society. Did you get the feeling about this guy that if he'd have put his talents to something good, humanity really could have been better served?
Yeah. First of all, thought you were gonna say my old man was in prison for 20 years.
Well, he went to a lot of prisons, but he was always on the right side of the
He's
bars,
on the other
brother.
side, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is definitely the case. So what Robert Spears eventually does is he becomes a medical doctor. He has a practice. He is a very respected doctor in Dallas. He lives in an exclusive area with a mansion for a home. He has a wife, a socialite wife, 2 beautiful children. He has a clinic that he works. Now, he bought a degree from Duke University for a few $100s. Then he moved over to Maryland and for $500 purchased a medical license. No schooling whatsoever. And by no schooling, I mean never in his life. There's no evidence he read a book. And he became an OBGYN. And he learned when he was in Maryland that Texas was the only state where you could transfer a medical license without any questions whatsoever. It just was accepted on face value. So he goes to Texas, and he goes to Texas because he understands that abortions are a very hot topic at the time, a great need in the Dallas area. And he is, in fact, an abortionist. That is what he is. He's nothing else. He never treats anyone. In fact, I have, the actual ads he would run in the Dallas Morning News.
Oh, man.
And it would say, Dr. Robert Spears, specialist in, quote, female problems.
Mm.
And female problems was code for an abortion.
Oh, man.
Jerry, after you've written many, many books, and after so many of them, where does Vanishing Act rank for you?
Well, I have a top 3. He's in the top 3. Some of the others are just as stunning. But I'm trying to think of the appropriate word, his brashness in it all. I mean, he literally never, ever expected to be caught. I mean, see, getting caught wasn't a problem for him. He knew how to make it work. He knew how to work the system. He knew how to turn it around. And so he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing the envelope. And eventually, he will move to Los Angeles and form a partnership with another abortionist. And that abortionist, this will be a stunning revelation because it was not known before. The abortionist that he partners with is the full-time staff abortionist for MGM Studios.
Oh.
Wow. All right. Go ahead.
He had 5,000 abortions.
Wow. All right. So, Jerry, tell us where we can get the book because it sounds like an incredible story.
Yes, it's available any place where books are sold, online and in brick and mortar. So it's available in every single store. And we don't have time for it now, but at the core of this story is a crashed airliner that he was behind.
Yeah, don't give it all away on here, brother. We want people to pick up the book. Jerry Jameson, thank you so much, my friend.
Okay, thank you. It was great talking with both of you.
It's True Crime Tuesday on 93 WIBC.
During much of Indiana's history, communicating on the telephone with the deaf or hard of hearing was nearly impossible. Friends and loved ones couldn't stay in touch, so the hard of hearing became isolated. Today, those with hearing loss have equal access with the captioned telephone from Relay Indiana and can keep their independence. Relay Indiana allows a caller to read what the other party is saying. This advanced technology keeps Hoosiers connected so that everyone can contribute to Indiana's productive future. Learn more at relayindiana.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Canada's new leader visiting the U.S. It's cloudy, 55 degrees on Monument Circle. The high today, 70. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:34. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is visiting President Trump amid trade tensions between the North American neighbors.
I think part of the new Canadian Prime Minister's pitch in Canada's recent election was that he will stand up to
Donald Trump.
I don't know. He's coming to see me. I'm not sure what he wants to see me about, but I guess he wants to make a deal.
A few White House officials are anonymously quoted by Politico today as saying there won't be any bells and whistles for the new prime minister and that today's visit is just to check a box. And that reflects the hard line this administration has been taking, even with close partners like Canada.
Fox's Peter Ducey. The Indiana Supreme Court clearing the way for a lawsuit to be filed against Amazon. The case stems from an incident at a Hancock County warehouse where 2 truck drivers were struck by vehicles. This hour of news brought to you by Moss Roofing. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity is up. Now is the best time in years to sell your home. However, some homes are sitting on the market. Hiring an expert who can maximize equity and minimize hassle is the key. That expert agent I recommend to sell your home is Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried you need costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Andrew in downtown Noblesville had to say about working with Mark Dietl. Recently retired, our goal was to sell our home of 30 years, buy an RV, and spend summers traveling to Montana and winters in Arizona. Mark Dietl's team made it happen fast. We went under contract in 3 days, over asking price with no contingencies. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives reminds you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS, mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
During much of Indiana's history, communicating on the telephone with the deaf or hard of hearing was nearly impossible. Friends and loved ones couldn't stay in touch, so the hard of hearing became isolated. Today, those with hearing loss have equal access with the captioned telephone from Relay Indiana and can keep their independence. Relay Indiana allows a caller to read what the other party is saying. This advanced technology keeps Hoosiers connected so that everyone can contribute to Indiana's productive future. Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Join our B&W Premier Club for additional benefits and exclusive discounts.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, B+W.com, your American Standard air dealer.
Stop putting up with lousy well water. You just can't find anybody better than the pros at C&J. Great systems, great people too. C&J at 317-852-WELL.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
See, it's Bob Seger's birthday.
80 years old today. Should have been Bob Seger Day all day.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until midway through the show. We normally do voicemails at this time, but like everything else in this building, the voicemail is broke. My favorite part of this was you checked the voicemails. It was broke.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. And you went and told our boss, and then he called the number 2 to check it.
Right, he
didn't
was
believe you.
doubting me, or he didn't think I knew how to dial the number properly to retrieve the voicemails. Checking my work. What was that?
So, yeah, no voicemails today. But I did see this very interesting article. Adam Wren, who's been on this program before, writes for Politico, also does Importantville. Hey, he's the guy that called me the most powerful broadcaster in the state of Indiana in that piece in Importantville.
That's true.
He did a profile on J.D. Vance's brother. And J.D. Vance's brother is running for the mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mayor. So this is J.D. Vance's half-brother. His
That's right.
name is Corey Bowman.
That's right. Yes. And what was interesting about this article, it's a long, long piece, is how this guy comes off as a dude who is interested at being famous on the internet and is using politics to make himself famous on the internet.
Yeah, it seems more like he's trying to build a national profile or build a brand rather than actually govern.
And this is interesting to me because we seem to... What are you doing? You're doing like some sort of ostrich neck at me while you're leaning in here, like as though you want me to say something.
Go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
It seems like there are more and more people who are using politics or running politics or winning some sort of public office to enhance their online profile for some sort of next thing rather than I'm running for public office because I really want to make all of these differences.
Right.
And that's how this guy comes off in this piece. Because he's skipping door knocking.
Yep.
He's not fundraising.
Yeah.
He's going on podcasts.
His platform is really vague. I mean, he's like talking in generalities like, potholes and snowplows and sanctuary city status, but he's not really addressing real issues like how he wants to help.
And it's really a disturbing thing, and you're seeing this on both sides of the aisle, in which people who may not have the talent to make it on their own recognize that if I get some sort of profile running for public office or being in public office, a la a Matt Gaetz, that now that will lift me to the ability as a known quantity to get some job on a TV station or with, a network like a Daily Wire or somebody like that, where otherwise I wouldn't be able to secure that position.
So it seems like there's these politicians that think that if they can just kind of say these MAGA-type conservative talking points and platitudes, they're going to become a media darling. And that's just as good.
And it is. And this is the online world we live in. And what you're seeing is... either because of a desire to be in in the media in some capacity or be a talk show host or pundit or whatever. And then when you mix that with this soundbite culture of the politicians who now crave acceptance from an echo chamber, you're not getting people that are serious about governing. And thus, they can't fully effectively govern, because if they did, it would take away the talking point. And once you solve the problem, then you can't run around screaming about the problem or, quote unquote, and on our side of the aisle, owning the libs. You just are good at governing, and that doesn't get you a lot of publicity. So anyway, I saw that. It's definitely worth a read, and I think it's a disturbing trend we're seeing more and more of in our society.
Yeah, the article says that it's really been a low-effort campaign, and he is gaining attention on Newsmax and Real America's Voice, and maybe really that's his intention more than becoming the mayor.
All right, Hammer's next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, enough with all the four-star generals and enough with TikTok already. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Concrete Floor Coatings. You already know if your garage concrete has stains and cracks, or you've got a bad epoxy job, it makes your whole garage look bad. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your garage in just one day. But did you know we transform concrete patios and concrete pool decks beautifully? Our patios and pool decks are guaranteed and turn out way better than new at a fraction of the cost of replacing them. And we make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly and apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross proprietary guaranteed finish. If you call us within the next 10 minutes for your quick and easy estimate, you'll get a free Samsung 70-inch flat screen TV or $500 credit. Free with every garage floor, pool deck, or patio we transform. Call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct, and right now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows with Universal Windows Direct's Home Improvement Season Sale. Get this. You'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. Yes, half off. Yeah, you heard right. You can upgrade your home with beautiful, energy-efficient windows for half the cost. Then on top of that, it gets even better. No interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year to enjoy your new windows before you pay a single cent. And last but certainly not least, you'll get a free entry door with your window purchase. So let's review. Half off your purchase, no interest, no payments for 12 months, and a free entry door with Universal Windows Direct's Home Improvement Season Sale. Now, some restrictions may apply, so to get all the details and schedule your totally free and home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Tell them Rob sent you.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-935-3377. 800-935-3377. 800-935-3377.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Recovery is a journey, and no one walks it alone. The Supporting Sobriety podcast helps friends and families understand addiction, offer support, and care for themselves along the way. Hosted by Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Take those old records off the shelf. I said listen to them by
There he is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show, Jason Hammer in the studio. You guys had a big announcement yesterday. Exciting stuff.
Finally, they are turning us loose. The mother of all beer sample Fridays, the Hammer and Nigel show live at Carb Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this year, Friday, May 23rd. We're going to be near Gasoline Alley at Garage 23. This is the Hensley Legal Group Command Center area. And man, it took 7 years of us bitching and moaning and complaining and saying, how come the hip-hop station gets to go out, but the show that has Beer Sample Friday, which is sponsored and brings you money, thanks to Thompson Furniture and Mattress, how come we don't get to go out?
Yeah.
And finally, it fell upon the right ears, and we will be out there, and this could get ugly.
Hey, speaking of Thompson Furniture, you know, Spencer, who's the big shot over there, he loves the Live Golf, and they got a big tournament coming up here in Indiana. Is he going to get us a suite or something?
I don't know. He's big into the golf like you, and he likes Live too.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll need to check with him.
Well, I saw an ad for tickets the other day, and I said, I don't want to get tickets because, you know, I'll always let somebody else more successful than me pay for my stuff.
Right.
And I assume
the
Spencer,
cheapest man alive.
Spencer will do something there because he loves the Live, and he knows that I'm so poor, and would take me with him.
Well, you can ask him that, and I hope he says no. Like, you're so poor, because you're really not, but I think at this point, it's just that you're just cheap. There's a difference between being poor and being cheap.
Yeah, that's right.
There was an old Saturday Night Live sketch where Steve Martin was like a Bond villain, but he didn't want to pay for any cocktails at the parties, and he didn't want to pay for the new bullets. The Bond movie was bullets aren't cheap, and everything was too expensive. She had to expense everything.
Did you see how much it cost?
How
the
much?
Tickets? Well, there's different levels you can get, but if you want to get a suite on hole 17, which includes 40 tickets.
40 tickets. How much?
$144,000.
How much?
$144,000.
I don't think Thompson Furniture's doing that well. Is there a suite with 4 tickets?
There's a portalet outside of hole number 7.
That can't
Now,
be
if you
right.
just want a grounds pass, it's $136.
No. I need to be somewhere where
Fan
people
stand?
are providing things for me. I'm not walking anywhere. I need
Who
to
do
be,
you think you are?
Well, we're number
You're
one.
coming off like Reese Witherspoon
Now,
right
this
now.
is a 3-day pass. So for 3 days.
Oh, I don't need to go 3 days. I just need to go
Okay.
a day. I need one day where someone provides everything for me. Is that listed?
You want me to
on there?
look Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
I don't care,
Which
Casey.
is
You
your day?
You pick any of the days.
If you're a lobbyist in Indiana, and I know you've got tickets, you can win over the most surly SOB in the state by just taking him to Live Golf. Next thing you know, he'll be a butt sniffer just like you guys want.
So one ticket into the sports bar area for Saturday.
Yep.
$770.
Does that include the liquor?
So wait, hold on. How is one day at the sports bar $700, but a 3-day grounds pass is only like $136?
Well, I think you get the free stuff. I think that the grounds pass, you got to do all your own walking.
In one day, you're going to drink $600
I don't
worth of
know.
booze?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it. It's her. Why are you looking at me? I have no idea.
Because you're the one that wants this, and you're the one that knows golf. I figured you would know the ins and outs of these.
I am not paying a dime for this, and I'm just going to wait for somebody to present me with some opportunity to go to the thing.
I can't wait until your daughter grows up and it's prom time, and she's like, Dad, this is the dress I want. And then you hand her like a newspaper. You better fold this up and put it on. I'm not buying anything.
It does include the all-inclusive drinks.
Okay.
But I don't think but see, that doesn't make any sense. There's no way you would drink $600 worth of booze. Even if you're at what's the one in Arizona.
Somewhere Joe Hogshead's like, watch me. Challenge accepted, Bal.
$600?
No, $770.
Yeah, but I'm saying the grounds pass. There has to be more to it than that. There has to be.
Can I take the celebrity beer bong with me to the grounds?
You can do whatever you want.
It's
You're
live
Jason
golf.
Hammer.
There are no rules. It's like Savannah Bananas, but for golf.
Right. I want to be like the people that Happy Gilmore sees when he goes to play golf. I want to see some bikers out in the woods getting it on. I want to see people drinking beer out of a funnel. Yes.
Pacers tonight.
Yep. Game 2. Sounds like Cleveland's got some injury issues. Their number 2 option trending toward not playing, but they haven't ruled him out yet, so we'll see. But yeah, looking forward to that tonight. Eddie White of the Pacers will join us about 4:30 today. We'll preview that. And also, one more time, Carb Day, Hammer and Nigel show. If you want to help us promote this event and also win some qualifications tickets, go to the Hammer and Nigel Twitter. At Hammer and Nigel. Just retweet the thing that we've got pinned to the top promoting our Carb Day. Just retweet it between now and 3 o'clock. I'll pick a random winner and you get qualifications tickets.
Will you have free drinks there for me if I show up?
Not for you.
For me?
Maybe.
Yay! Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
I see how it's gonna be. That's fine.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Hey guys,
The grand opening of PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse is taking place Friday, May 9th from 4 to 7 p.m., and you should be there. Free food, beverages, new inventory, incredible specials, and meet the reps from Citizen Watch and Flederman Von Riest, where I'm their brand ambassador. Watches assembled right here in Indiana. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse, Friday, May 9th, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg, 4 to 7 p.m. Find out more information at pajewelers.jewelry. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, Mother's Day is Sunday, and this Mother's Day, take mom to church at Life Church. You know, the heart of a mom gives everything. Her time, her love, her prayers. Just like Jesus showed us the power of selfless love, many moms and mother figures demonstrate it every day. Life Church believes in honor, and taking time to honor the one who cared for you out of selfless love is demonstrating the love of God to her. While we honor moms every day, join Life Church on Mother's Day. There will be special elements at each Life Church location to make sure your mom or mother figure feels celebrated and special. Learn more about Life Church and their 4 campuses across central Indiana at lifechurchin.com.
Before the newest candy and snacks hit store shelves, they start at the Sweets and Snacks Expo. And this year, it's coming to Indy May 13th to 15th. 1,000 candy and snack companies will debut innovations and showcase bestsellers. Retailers from around the world attend to discover what's next, build connections, and stay on trend. Retailers and distributors can get 25% off registration now at sweetsandsnacks.com/Indy. This is an industry event. If you're a fan of love candy and snacks, you'll have to wait for the latest sweets and snacks on store shelves.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tony Katz to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Create a glowing backyard retreat with Indy Decorative Concrete. Get a free outdoor lighting package with the purchase of our best stamped concrete patio. Hurry, offer ends June 30th. Go to indydecorativeconcrete.com.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, Indy Police working through multiple shootings from across the city overnight, plus details on a murder at a Terre Haute motel Monday night. We're getting ready for Game 2 tonight between the Pacers and the Cavs in Cleveland. Those stories and more all coming up. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. Time for Fox News. It's 11 o'clock.
New trade deals could be coming this week. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just told a House hearing.
In the first 100 days of the new administration, we have set the table for a robust economy that allows Main Street to grow.
But Democratic Congressman Steny Hoyer told Bessent.
An irresponsible, incoherent tariff policy has plunged the Americans and global economies into chaos. These past 3 months, the American economy shrank for the first time since the final days of the pandemic.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is at another House hearing.
There are tens of thousands of illegal aliens that have committed crimes against individuals in this country, and we have worked very hard to make sure that those are the individuals that we're going after and deporting as soon as possible.
But Noem sparred with Democrat Lauren Underwood, who's critical of some deportations without hearings.
Do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens?
The administration has the authority to.
Ma'am, I'm looking for a yes or no question. Yes or no. Do you believe the Constitution? Yes, ma'am.
And back and forth they went until Congresswoman Underwood told Noem.
Judge after judge has ruled that the law is not being followed.
Now, Noem also told lawmakers they'll start enforcing the use of real IDs starting tomorrow. Anyone who boards a flight in the U.S. will need those or a passport.
And make sure that we never experience and work to prevent a 9/11 attack again.
Israel has shut down the airport in Sana'a, Yemen, with a second day of airstrikes targeting Iran-backed Houthi militants who disrupted flights at the Tel Aviv-Israel airport over the weekend with a missile attack. Back to trade and tariffs, President Trump is about to meet with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney.
A big part of the new Canadian Prime Minister's pitch in Canada's recent election was that he will stand up to Donald Trump.
That's the White House, where Fox's Peter Doocy reports no deals are expected.
Today's visit is just to check a box, and that reflects the hard line this administration has been taking, even with close partners like Canada.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Gunshots ringing out in multiple Indy spots. Cloudy, 58 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:02. People hearing gunshots in different parts of Indianapolis Monday night into Tuesday morning. Ryan Hedrick has the details.
The first shooting happened about 11 Monday night on the city's Far East Side in a neighborhood not far from North Midhofer Road and East 21st. 90 minutes later, at an apartment building near West 69th and Michigan Road, police say somebody fired off about 20 shots, injuring a man. 2 hours later, the cops found a third man near 21st and Tibbs. In total, 3 people shot. Police are still looking into all of these. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And IMPD is asking anyone with information about the shootings to come forward. Police say a person was murdered at a Terre Haute motel Monday night. Officers said someone called 911 from the front desk as they heard shots had been fired. A man from Dallas, Texas has been arrested and charged with murder in that shooting. A Newcastle man is facing 42 felony charges after admitting to distributing child porn. According to the Henry County Sheriff's Department, Corey Bell's home was searched after a cyber tip led investigators to his location. Authorities said they found 34 images of child porn shared on the messaging app Kik. Bell faces 2 to 12 years in prison based on the charges, which include child exploitation. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White says you can expect some fire from this year's group of players.
I guarantee you it doesn't matter if we're playing cards or if we're playing basketball. They want to win. And they want to do what it takes to win and position themselves to win. So I love that about this group.
The Fever are back in Indianapolis this week for more of training camp in preparation for the regular season. They will close out the preseason this Saturday against the Atlanta Dream. The regular season will then start May 17th against the Chicago Sky. Meanwhile, the Pacers are on the court tonight in Cleveland. Game 2 of this series tips off at 7, the Eastern Conference semifinals. Indiana trying to go up 2-0 before returning home. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family-owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch-resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas, too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
These data centers are going to be really bad.
There seems to be a lot of them, too.
So, IndyStar has a new article out about these data centers, and this is another example, and I see this all the time in local government, where people would get fascinated, governments would get fascinated with how big the bright, shiny object can be and the number behind that object, and then get it in their mind, we have to make that thing happen without factoring in the long-term ramification of what you're about to do. Because so often government is driven by dollar signs rather than a benefit of the collective. And so what I mean by this is you're seeing where these data centers are going, and you see IndyStar has a list of the proposed areas on the map: Greenfield, Lebanon, Monrovia, Pittsburgh. And you're talking, in the case of a data center, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of acres of farmland necessary to facilitate the needs of that entity, we'll call it for lack of a better term. And if you think about a like a lot of people don't realize with a data center, unlike a warehouse, there's not all these people there. The building is the thing. They build this giant monstrosity. It largely runs unmanned. There are some workers who do, are on site, but very few. And the thing just sits there. And so what happens is, because of the vast size of the thing and the things that go in it, it has a huge price tag that comes along with it. And these local governments see that and go, oh boy. And it's almost like the rest of the brain of these people making the choices just simply shut down.
Well, it doesn't just sit there. It uses a very large amount of electricity.
Bingo.
And there are 10 planned facilities alone that require nearly 9,700 megawatts, or 1/3 of Indiana's summer capacity.
That's correct. And so we, as we have now seen, do not have the ability to provide that power, which is why the General Assembly has allowed the utilities, which are a monopoly, to engage in this Dr. Frankenstein-like experiment on these SMRs, these small modular reactors, to provide more nuclear power. However, you are going to pay in terms of a rate increase for these data centers to have this power. We have seen this with the opening of Eli Lilly, and the press release, he's opening a $4 billion campus in Lebanon. What does that do for you? Well, you've paid hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of real money. You don't know exactly how much because it's hidden by the IEDC, the shadow government. Maybe we'll find out in this audit that they're this forensic audit that they're doing. But you have, through your own tax dollars, paid hundreds of millions of dollars in all likelihood for Eli Lilly with a market cap of close to $800 billion to do a $4 billion project. Yeah, 400 workers will come, but from where?
Right.
Are those workers coming from Indiana? Are they going to only be hiring Indiana workers and elevating their wages and skill sets? No. The reality of that is many of these workers will come from out of state, and some of them will come from out of the country. And so we are literally giving away our land. We are giving away our identity, falling victim to these bright, shiny objects that, because they're under these special abatements that data centers are allowed to get that other entities are not allowed to get, in some cases it could take between 20 and 50 years before they begin actually positively contributing to the community, especially when you factor in the gutting of the fabric of how the community looks and how the land has been utilized for hundreds of years.
Are they going to start manufacturing the medicines that we use here in Indiana? Is that part of the plan?
I don't know. I mean, look, it's nothing against Eli Lilly. I have no problem with Eli Lilly doing a massive expansion. If they want to buy the land, if they want to make a deal with farmers out there, and they want to pay whatever the farmer was willing to sell it for, that's fine. In the case of Eli Lilly, which is a separate conversation, I was merging them together in terms of we're talking about the benefit or lack thereof financially to the taxpayer in terms of when I was talking about the data centers. My issue with Eli Lilly is the state, through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, went to these farmers and basically strong-armed them out of their land, paying a premium price for that land and telling the farmers, you can fight it and you might win, but it's going to cost you ton of money, and over time, we're going to win anyway.
Right.
So you might win in the short term. We will win in the long term. And we've had farmers who've come on our program and talked about how these negotiations have gone. Now, in the case of the data center, this is where local communities have got to see past what's right in front of them and see the big picture, which is, in many of these cases, now Lebanon has waved bye-bye to this because Matt Gentry believes the mayor there, his stepping stone is as many bright, shiny objects as he can construct in his community. But for the people who have some decency left about them, if you're Pittsburgh or you're what's left of Greenfield, you've got to recognize what's the goal of the community. It's to be a place that people want to go. Why did people come to your place? To get away from these sort of things. So by you putting it out there, you're just becoming like everyone else.
So Indiana does have a limited renewable energy option, right? Which is why we've got these SMRs coming. These data centers do demand such a massive electricity load. Indiana has over 60 existing data centers, dozens more being proposed, like you said. And Duke and AES, they've all said that there's going to be infrastructure strain, and now they're scrambling to scale up or find ways to supply energy to these places. Companies like Meta, Amazon, they're building these massive centers as well. They seem to be somewhat unresponsive to public concerns.
They don't care at all about public concerns.
They don't care at all.
You're dealing with, oftentimes, certainly when I say foreign in the sense of not from Indiana, and foreign in the sense oftentimes not of this country. And you look at a lot of these data centers that are being built, they're being built by foreign companies. They're not even American companies that are building many of these. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's taking place in all of these communities. But no, these people don't. They gobble the land. This is the conversation I have every single time when a development comes to Warehouseburg. And I will ask, where are you from? When these people in your community, if you go to a hearing at your town or city council or the planning commission, and that developer gets up and gives their address, it's always blah, 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 Fishers, blah, 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 Carmel, blah, 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 Westfield, blah, 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 Indianapolis. And what that means is they don't give a damn about the place where you live because they don't live there. They get as much for as little as they can. Their goal, and I don't blame them, that's business. That's business. But their goal is not to improve your community. They don't care about your community at all. Their goal is to get as much as they can, giving away as little as they have to, and making as much money as they can. You think the people that are building that monstrosity on 600 plus acres in Pittsburgh care at all about the city of Pittsburgh? No,
there's been really limited input from the residents there regarding zoning and planning the whole thing.
And this is where the people in these communities on these boards, the planning commissions, the councils, the zoning boards, have got to stand up and recognize you have to care about your people. You have to put the people first. Stuff for the sake of stuff does no one any good. And when you look at these special tax laws, like it's abatements on super steroids with these data centers that the state has allowed, you're talking 20 or 50 years before the thing starts paying up. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your little town?
Back to what's going on in Lebanon today, especially with the groundbreaking of that $4.5 billion foundry, the Lilly Medicine foundry. Did they ever figure out the water? Like where they're getting the water from?
Yeah, they're having to pump it in from somebody else.
Really?
Was it Citizens? Citizens is having to bring the water in. The problem is what's next, and then what goes after that, and what goes after that. It is the rating of resources. If you look at what is going on with economic development in this state, it is the rating of resources by megacorps and using these lawmakers, oftentimes through campaign donations or just their own stupidity, and forcing you to pay for it. If there's not enough electricity to fund your house, to light your house in the data center, and they say, well, we've got to create technology to allow that to happen, but you've got to pay for it, your taxes went up for that thing to exist. That's what it is, because you can't shop a utility. You can't go somewhere else and use free market for utility. It's a tax increase. This is, and I will continue to ask this in all these communities, have your taxes gone up or gone down in these suburban communities over the past 10 years? The majority of them, if you're lucky, they've stayed flat. Mm-hmm. Look at the state of Indiana. Have your taxes gone up or have they gone down? Across the board in Indiana, other than very minuscule income tax decreases, taxes have gone up. Yeah. Gas, property tax, all of these things have gone up. If these data centers or warehouses or whatever are so great, why do the taxes keep going up? If the data centers and the warehouses are the end-all be-all for property taxes, why do the property taxes continue to skyrocket?
I wanted to mention what happened with an update here. Explain to everybody who Jamie Knoll was.
Jamie Knoll was the sheriff of Clark County. He was arguably the best friend of Governor Eric Holcomb. Mm-hmm. He was on the Republican Central Committee for the state of Indiana, which made him one of the 20 most powerful Republicans in the state, and was a major architect of Eric Holcomb's victory when he became governor of the state of Indiana.
So he had a classic, well, not him, there was a classic car auction for restitution purposes.
Yes, because, and then obviously then the main part of this is Jamie Knoll was caught in a variety of schemes and scams, both related to his job as sheriff of Clark County and also helping oversee a volunteer fire department. And it was, he has admitted he did it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not, the allegation is not in question now, scheming and scamming millions of dollars away from these entities.
So they did this auction, and the goal was to recover money for the citizens of Clark County, part of his $3.1 million court-ordered restitution, right? He had 43 classic cars, and they sold in auction, and they made $1.2 million from them.
Okay, and so the bigger question remains, and you know what's going to be really interesting about this audit of the IEDC is I'm not sure how Holcomb cannot be directly connected to whatever is found there, because the IEDC on steroids was the brainchild of Holcomb. The foreign trips Holcomb was clearly involved in. Leap was his baby.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things that are at the epicenter of what this IEDC audit is about. And don't kid yourself. The reason the IEDC was a shadow government, quasi-government entity, I think is what they refer to it as, but a shadow organization that you can't get information on, or it's very hard to get information on it, they didn't want you to know.
Clearly.
They didn't want you to know what they were doing. And so when you look at this now, that Holcomb's baby and his brainchild is now under a forensic audit because of the alleged shenanigans that were taking place, and the fact that Eric Holcomb's best friend is now rotting in the pokey somewhere over a multi-million-dollar fraud, would that be what it's misuse of public trust, whatever you want to call it. I forget exactly what he pled guilty to. But how is it that your best friend is running this scam, living millions of dollars above his means, and then on the other side over here, he's jaunting all over the world, and there's this quasi-government organization that you pumped up and you promoted,
you paid for,
and you drove hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars to, and now it's under a forensic audit. At what point do people start looking at Holcomb? At what point do people start looking at Holcomb and going, how is this possible that all of these things are happening around him and he wasn't involved in any of them?
Yeah. Well, we'll find out with that audit if his name comes up at all. Coming up next, we're going to talk more cars. We're going to have the Chief Operating Officer from the Dana Meekum auction join us. Sam Murtaugh is his name, and he's on the way next from 93 WIBC.
This May, you've got a chance to see what an IndyCar driver's dream garage really looks like. WIBC's Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana, takes you inside Graham Rahal Performance, a high-octane hangout where racing meets luxury. Hammer and Nigel sit down with Graham for great stories, laughs, and insights from someone who grew up on the hallowed grounds of the IMS. But this backstage pass to speed, style, and surprises is sold out. The only place to register to win tickets is WIBC.com.
Guys, don't waste time and money with low-quality online TRT that charges you over $100 just to start. Visit the TRT experts at the Low T Center for a free consultation and a free test. Treatment is personalized to your body, and most major insurances accept it. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment right now at the Low T Center. Offer is limited, but book right now. FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Indiana wants me. Lord, I can't go back there. Indiana wants me.
Casey, the cars are coming.
Yes, they are at the 38th original Meekum auction at the fairgrounds, Rob.
This is your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
If there's ever a car that you've really wanted and might not be able to afford, you still won't be able to afford it, but you can go see it.
They're so pretty, and there's so many of them. I have been before, and I think maybe I'm going to get over there again this time.
And luckily, we got a guy that knows all about the Meekum auction.
Yes, he is the Chief Operating Officer of the Dana Meekum Auctions. His name is Sam Murtaugh. Sam, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me. And I think you sort of teed it up pretty well. It's our 38th original Spring Classic. It started back in 1988. It's the first auction Meekum Auctions ever had. We moved to Indianapolis back in 2008 and been there ever since. And we fill the state fairgrounds with classic cars to the tune of almost 3,000 of them. We fill every building on the grounds. It's quite the spectacle of cars.
Now, when I think of classic cars, I think of maybe a 67 Mustang. Somebody else might think of a 1950s DeSoto, and somebody else might even think of a Duesenheimer. But when you say classic car, is there a definitive date range? Because when I was on the Meekum website, I was seeing cars from the 80s and 90s. And I don't know if I would consider that a classic, but some people do. So what are the rules, the guidelines for classic cars?
Well, that's a great question. I think, by definition, I think, pre-war, early, things from, pre-World War II would be considered technically classic cars by definition. But, from a collector car standpoint and what becomes classic every year, we get older and older. Another year of make and model of vehicle gets older. There's, cars from the 90s and early 2000s that are becoming extremely collectible. And the term classic, I think, has kind of become more generalized. And, we refer more as the collector car. What's collectible these days? And, that could be anything from a Duesenberg back from the early 30s all the way up to, a modern classic of something that was limited production, low production, and highly collectible. So that's really what you'll see at a Mecum auction is collector cars. What's collectible these days? It doesn't necessarily have to be 100 years old. It could be 10 years old. It could be 5 years old. But if it's deemed collectible, meaning there weren't very many produced, the demand is up, more people want them than they exist. That's the type of cars we sell.
Now, I was looking through the website, and I saw the 1967 Ford Mustang GTA convertible, also the 66 Shelby 427 Cobra Roadster. You've got that 76 Ford Bronco, the 69 Chevrolet Camaro, the 74 Ford Bronco, which is a custom vehicle. What sort of price range are these classic cars going to go for? Do you have any idea before you put them up on auction?
We have some semblance of idea. We know what the market value is for the most part for each vehicle, and we're a reserve auction, so sellers are able to put a reserve on their vehicles, which is a protected price. The car won't sell unless they reach that number, or if they decide to let it go. To really get a value or understanding, we have auction estimates that are on a lot of these vehicles. As you walk around, you can see a price range on a lot of them to kind of help people that aren't exactly sure. Got to give them a little bit of a guide. But at the end of the day, it's what you're willing to pay for a vehicle, and that's truly defines what market value is. What's something someone is willing to pay for today, and that's the beauty of the auction. So there's deals to be had, there's premiums to be paid. But at the end of the day, it's a fun way to buy a car.
Now, this is a 9-day event. We've got Sam Murtaugh, who's joining us. He's the Chief Operating Officer for Dana Mecum's auction, which is happening beginning on May 9th at the fairgrounds. It's a 9-day event. And do you typically put the most popular cars first, and then it kind of dwindles down over the event?
It actually kind of goes the opposite. It ramps up towards the end. So, the first day on Friday, the first weekend, we'll have great cars. And the weekends are typically higher valued vehicles versus during the week. So, we'll ramp up starting on, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. And then on Monday, we'll sell memorabilia we refer to as road art. And that'll be a full day of just memorabilia. And then starting again back on Tuesday, we'll start back up with the cars, and we'll start off with more what we refer to as entry-level collectibles, sort of the lower-end vehicles, and then slowly ramp up throughout the week, leading up to Friday and Saturday. And so the Friday and Saturday of next weekend will be the highest value cars crossing the block.
Now, you have to be a registered bidder. You have to sign up. Is that correct?
In order to purchase a vehicle, yes, you have to register to bid. You can do that in advance on our website. You can do it. You can just come to the main entrance there. We've got bidder registration there on site. You can do it in person. If you can't make it to the auction, we have online bidding available. So if you're busy doing something else and you can't make it to the event, you can bid online. And if you don't want to bid, you just want to check out 3,000 amazing vehicles all in one place. We sell tickets to the general public. Kids 12 and under are free. It's a good family-friendly event. Come on out, hang out. As all the automotive frenzy starts to ramp up more and more day after day there in Indianapolis, we've kind of become part of that sort of gas and oil frenzy going on there in May. I know there's a little race going on there this month sometime.
I was recently watching the Bob Dylan movie that came out, and in the movie, he's riding around in a 1964 Triumph Tiger motorcycle. I, of course, went over to your website to see if that was one of the motorcycles that you had going up for auction. I did not see it, but do you ever have people come to you and say, hey, I'm looking for this specific car. Can you find it?
Yeah, we get that all the time. While we can't just go grab and find one and put it in the auction. So here it is. We have, we've got a very large database of customers and sellers and buyers from all over the country and all over the world for that matter. So when we know that someone's after something specific, we'll definitely make sure that we, keep our eyes out and help them try and find that and help try and get that type of vehicle or motorcycle, whatever it might be, consigned to the auction to give them an opportunity to buy it.
I want to ask you something involving politics because that's what we do here. Obviously, the cost of cars has been rising and people are very concerned with the tariffs affecting that even more. Does that affect your business at all?
Not exactly. And if it does anything, it's usually indirectly. It's not really necessarily directly. It oftentimes can help our business. The collector cars are viewed in a lot of cases as an alternative asset. And so, if folks are a little bit, weary of the stock market or not sure if they should invest or shouldn't invest, then this is a good place to park money.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicles, collector vehicles don't typically go down. They'll fluctuate. They'll go up and down some, but they don't. They're typically incrementally increasing on a year-over-year basis. And so, even if it doesn't go, might not perform as well as a certain stock or whatever, it could, and some certainly outperform it. But it's a safe place, a stable place to park cash, and it's something you can, drive and enjoy at the same time and have fun with. So it's a cool asset to have. And so there's a lot of people will kind of sort of shift gears and move into our land during some of these sort of uncertain times. So oftentimes it can actually help the business.
Yeah, I've noticed that collectibles on a whole, on all different varieties, have been rising in popularity, and this is probably part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we appreciate the time this morning, and I'm looking forward to a good event. I've been in the past, and I think I'll try and skip over there and see all the classic cars and motorcycles and all the vintage signs and everything else that's going on at the 38th Original Auction at the Fairgrounds. It's happening May 9th for 9 days. Sam, we appreciate your time this morning.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A new lawsuit against a former IPS teacher. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Indianapolis Public Schools and one of their former teachers are facing a new lawsuit that claims Julius Jonikin allowed a six-year-old student with special needs to be bullied repeatedly. The lawsuit goes beyond that. It says the entire school and its teachers and staff are at fault, not just Jonikin. IPS already paid out over $1.2 million to a different victim in an April settlement stemming from physical abuse experienced at the school under Jonikin's watch. Indy police are working through 3 separate shootings from overnight in which 3 men were injured. Police say someone shot a man in the leg during a shootout at around 11 p.m. Then, about an hour and a half later, someone shot another man on the north side. By 2:30, police found a third man who said someone shot him while he was walking through a park. There are currently no suspects. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds May 9th through 17th for Dana Mecum's 38th Original Spring Classic. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. And with more than 3,000 vehicles up for auction, it's a chance to bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy tickets now at Mecum.com. That's Mecum.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives reminds you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. 317-480-4040. That's 317-480-4040.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
Indiana roads are getting safer. Thanks to Indiana's new Safe Zones program, the hard-working men and women doing construction on Indiana's roads can work more safely. And you'll be safer too. Every year, people lose their lives in Indiana construction zones, often because they're driving too fast. The Safe Zones program from the Indiana Department of Transportation keeps speeds safer for workers, safer for drivers, safer for you. Now you'll see Safe Zone signs before you enter a construction zone, letting you know you need to slow down. To help you get used to the new Safe Zones program, the first time you're caught violating Safe Zone speeds, you'll get a warning to help you remember to slow down and keep the road safe for workers and other drivers. Thank you to legislative leaders and industry partners for creating the Indiana Safe Zones program to keep Hoosiers safe and for making Indiana a leader in road safety. Indiana Safe Zones. Safe speeds for everyone.
This is a message from the Indiana District Council of Labor's International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
The most important advice I can give to someone regarding their heating and air conditioning system is for them to change their filters.
And get regular maintenance from B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
12 hours out of Mackinac City, stopped in a bar to have a brew.
It's Bob Seger's birthday.
It is. He's 80 years old.
Met a girl, we
You
had
know,
a few drinks, and I told
that's-
her what I decided to do.
That sounds old, but is it because he's a rock and roller? Like, I don't know. Maybe you have this in your mind that these guys never get older.
Yeah, because the music lives on forever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like, there's a lot of people I know who 80 I do not consider to be old people, but it just, it's a very striking that Bob Seger is 80 years old.
I had a friend who's, I have a friend who's a huge Bob Seger fan. He spent hours trying to determine where the bar was that was 12 hours out of Mackinac City.
Isn't there more than one?
Well, I'm sure there's plenty, but I think he determined it was North Dakota.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, very good. That is a person with too much time.
Well, he's a huge Bob Seger fan, so he wanted to know, dissect every single lyric, kind of like what you do with Dan Fogelberg.
Well, somebody told me this years ago that sometimes these guys just write words down on a paper because they rhyme. Don't take it all too serious.
Is that true, Kevin? Sometimes it's just because they rhyme.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I learned that lesson the hard way. I had a very heartbreaking experience with that, talking to somebody in the industry that I really admired, and he just looks at me and goes, you know, sometimes guys just write things on paper because they rhyme.
And sometimes they make them rhyme even though they normally don't. Like Brooks and Dunn, for example, they made paint and can't rhyme.
What?
Yeah, the words paint and can't.
I don't think those words rhyme, Casey.
They don't, but they made them rhyme.
Can we talk about Pamela Anderson for a second?
Yeah, she was at the Met Gala last night.
All right. Look at, notice how Kev just propped right up in his chair? He's normally slouched over, half awake. Now look at him. Okay, so.
How old is she?
She's got to be in her mid-50s.
I think I know how old she is. I'm going to look it up. But what's your guess?
I will say she is 55 years old. Kevin?
57.
Kevin's in on 57. I'm in on 55. Price is Right rules.
I believe, yeah, Kevin's right. 57.
She's 57 years old. So that means she'd have been born in 1968.
67. July 1st, 1967.
So she will be 58 years old. All right. So Pamela Anderson, I think it's safe to say, and Kev, you're not old enough to remember this, but in the 90s and then even maybe into the early 2000s, she was the it woman.
Yeah.
In terms of this is it. Trying to make sure we keep our license, right? And then she did a video and she was with some dudes of what you might describe as low moral standing.
Yeah.
She got a little rough around the edges, and then she just woke up one day and was like, I'm done being it, and I'm not wearing makeup anymore.
Yeah, she did that in 2023 is when she appeared makeup free in public and at different events. And she, is trying to live a very healthy lifestyle now. And, she's what she eats and puts on her body.
Sure. Now, this is a tough segment for me because I don't notice people's appearances.
Of course not.
But I used to notice people's appearances. So I'm drawing back from when I used to notice people's appearances.
Sure, go back to your past.
And if you're at some point a strong, let's just say you're a Broad Ripple 8 or above, don't you have an obligation to humanity to do everything you can to remain that?
Here's the thing. So she was at the Met Gala, and we've discussed her evolution before.
Right.
And you thought that she looked older. Well, she is older. I thought she looked interesting at that Met Gala because of the short baby bangs.
She's trying to not look as good as she used to look at this point. And here's why.
And she was completely covered.
Who is it? Is it
long sleeves, full gown?
She's trying to look homely. This is what I'm upset about. She's going, there's one thing to say, I'm not going to care anymore or whatever. She's going out of her way now to like make you look at her. This is the reverse. What do they call it? The old switcheroo on Seinfeld. This is the reverse.
Bizarro Pam
wants
Anderson.
you to notice how she's not looking the way she used to look.
I think she still looks beautiful, and she looks beautiful sans makeup, natural look, but her styling was interesting because you're right. She's almost going out of her way to cover her entire body and with the short bangs.
Take, for example, Elizabeth Hurley is 59 years old. And Elizabeth Hurley, at the same time as Pam Anderson, she was in the Austin Powers movie.
Sure.
She is still
beautiful.
Kept the warranty from the factory because the assemblage is very strong, and clearly this automobile is doing regular maintenance and upkeep, right? Selma Hayek is another one that does this. So Pam Anderson, this is why I'm frustrated with Pam Anderson. She's going out of her way
to frustrate you,
to not look the way that she once looked.
Yeah.
And society, we need our heroes, Casey.
Is that it?
We need.
I mean, I think there's got to be some compromise in between. You know, she doesn't need to be wearing the red bathing suit, you know, jogging down the beach look, but she has completely covered herself.
Right. Yeah. And don't act like we don't know what you did. The internet's forever. We've all seen the video.
Right? You can't.
Right? I mean, you were married to. Well, she was married to Tommy Lee. Was she married to Tommy Lee?
Yes.
Were they married?
Yeah, they were.
And then was she married to Kid Rock?
No.
She was married to Kid Rock. Yes, she was.
No.
No, I'm going to look it up right now here on the YouTube. Was Pam Anderson married to Kid Rock? That's the first one that popped
really?
up. Anderson later married Kid Rock.
Okay.
August of 2006 to February 2007. That went well. What is that? Is that 6 months? That's 6 months?
Well, maybe she was covering up and he didn't like that.
Anyway, look, if you're given gifts from above, we should all utilize the talents given to us by the big man upstairs. And she is not only letting humanity down, but probably God as well by doing this.
Okay, it's Kendall and Casey. It's 93.
I'm kidding.
WIBC.
Kidding.
And as the sunset faded, I spoke to the faintest first star. I said next time.
Hammer and Nigel show 306 this afternoon. If you missed the announcement, our show will be live at Carb Day. Shout out to Hensley Legal Group, 93 WIBC.
Hey, will you be filing for Social Security in the next 5 years? The amount of lifetime income you get from Social Security could vary by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And basically, it all boils down to not only your timing, but also coordinating taxes, spousal benefits, IRAs, 401k withdrawals, and much more. Hammer and Nigel here. You got to make sure you get every penny that's rightfully yours with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery.
We trust Bill Demery, and you can too. And if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. This analysis could help you get hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income, and it's free. Schedule it right now, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Pat Sullivan here. Have you heard about impact-resistant shingles? They're the smart choice for protecting your home from harsh weather. And here's something you may not know. Most insurance companies offer discounts on your premiums if you install them. At the Michaelis Corporation, we offer top-tier Category 3 and Category 4 impact-resistant shingles that stand up to the toughest storms. From hail to high winds, these shingles offer a 30-year warranty that stands by their durability. And when a weather event hits, don't worry. Let Michaelis perform a free inspection of your property to ensure everything is in top condition. We don't inspect the roof at ground level. Our experts will safely climb onto the roof to check for damages. Roof, gutter, siding, windows are all inspected for storm damage. Michaelis Corporation provides over 35 years of disaster restoration. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. 844-FIXED-INDY. That's 844-FIXED-INDY.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. Booher. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. Booher. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today? Today.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one-stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel all week for your chance to win tickets to the PPG Armed Forces qualifying on May 17th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. More info at WIBC.com.
I am a patriot, and I love my country, because my country is all I
Casey, question.
Yeah, what's that, Rob?
What's the most amount of money you've ever won playing the lottery?
Playing the lottery, not very much, maybe $5-10. I did win
Really?
once. Yeah.
Scratch-offs, everything?
Yeah, I normally don't win on those. I did win about $1,200 at the casino once playing slots.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, when you do that, when you win that amount of money, when you check out, do they take the taxes out off the top, or do they give you a 1099, or what do they do?
Yeah, when that happened to me, I had to fill out paperwork right there in the casino.
Oh.
So they had the information.
I think I won $500 when I was a kid playing the lottery once, or my dad won.
500?
Well, somebody won. I can't remember. Maybe it was a grandparent. I don't know. You know how at Christmas everybody gets the
stocking
scratch-offs?
stuffers.
Yeah, but I asked this because weren't you telling me that there's somebody who won a whole bunch of money playing the lottery and thus far it's unclaimed?
Yeah, it was one of those cash fives, and somebody in Indianapolis won $120,000.
Oh, like they went into the gas station, they bought a ticket, and won $120,000.
$120,000. So yeah, you're gonna have to pay taxes on that.
But we don't know who it was yet.
If you won, what do you like? How do you not know? Like if I were to play, I would be watching, like, oh, I won. I'd be daydreaming. I'd already have that money spent.
Now, in fairness, because a couple media agencies have covered this, it doesn't mean that the person doesn't know. They just haven't come forward yet. But it was May the 2nd. And by the way, it was 5959 Southeastern Avenue in Indianapolis. Yeah, at this point, it's the 6th. So I don't know. What would you be waiting on?
Well, some people, I guess, when they win a large amount of money, they don't want their name out there, right? The first person you're going to call is your financial advisor.
Yeah. What would you do with the $120,000? Because it's a lot of money. It's not life-changing.
Yeah, right. It's not like I can retire off of this money.
Okay, if I gave you, because we've pondered if you won the big stuff, like, tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But if you had 120, okay, applicable taxes.
You're walking away with what, 70,
No,
75?
it's more than that, right? Because, I mean, let's just say it's 90. You lose a third, you lose a fourth of it.
Yeah.
Maybe more, but let's just say I'm going to hand you $90,000 cash.
Okay.
What are you doing with $90,000?
I think that I would take a really nice vacation.
Yeah.
Like I would do like the nice some bucket list sort of vacation.
Like over a month?
Yeah.
2 months?
See you later, Rob.
Because this is the problem. You could not quit working for $90,000. That's not enough money for you to long term be able to exit from the workforce.
No, but it would be one of those, how many PTO days do I have?
Yeah.
I'm going to max them all out.
Yeah.
And do the whole, I'd be traveling around like I'm Kevin McNamara.
Yes, that's right. Kevin takes at least one European vacation every single year. I think he's leaving in June this year. Now, let's see. I could not buy, for long-time listeners of the show, they know my dream is to buy the Lockmiller building.
Right.
Which is...
I don't think you're getting it for that.
It's right across the street from the from the government center in the State House. And that would be a premium location for me if I were like super rich to just hang a sign with derogatory statements about the politician of the day every day. I just have them. I'd rotate them. That's not enough. But I bet I could rent some space there.
Oh, for sure. I think you could rent it.
Yeah.
Definitely rent it for a day.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know, what, $1,000 or something maybe.
Right.
Just for have a whole day of, who it would be, in this case, it'd be Braun sucks.
Right. But see, that's the thing. Even if you were to rent Lockmillers for a day, even if I were to go on a nice vacation, you're still going to have money left over.
You are.
So I think at that point, you just got to, I would probably just put it in savings to pay for my taxes.
Yeah, now that we talk
for
about
years to come.
It's not as big a deal as we're led to believe because the number seems large, but when you really start breaking it down, it's a nice nest egg.
You should get a new car. That's what you should spend.
I think I
it
would
on.
probably do that.
Yeah.
$90,000 would enable me to get a car with
a really good car with all the bells and whistles.
If you roll into the dealership and I just say, "Give me the Beckwith," or "Give me the Diego," will they know what I'm talking about? Now, here's what's pathetic: we couldn't even pay cash for the Diego because wasn't his $91,000? Is that right?
Still not enough money.
Yeah.
You still don't have enough even after winning the lottery.
But I think I could get the Beckwith.
You might be able to get the Beckwith.
Cash money, briefcase full of cash.
You don't need a car that big, though, because you don't have a bunch of fat guy friends.
Twirling my mustache. Give me the Beckwith. Can you imagine? But it does.
It's like some places have, a hamburger named after someone famous, locally famous. This is a car dealership. with like a headshot of him up in the lobby.
What a great way to go out, Casey.
All right. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Concrete Floor Coatings. You already know if your garage concrete has stains and cracks, or you've got a bad epoxy job, it makes your whole garage look bad. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your garage in just one day. But did you know? We transform concrete patios and concrete pool decks beautifully. Our patios and pool decks are guaranteed and turn out way better than new, at a fraction of the cost of replacing them. And we make it so so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly and apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross proprietary guaranteed finish. If you call us within the next 10 minutes for your quick and easy estimate, you'll get a free Samsung 70-inch flat screen TV or $500 credit. Free with every garage floor, pool deck, or patio we transform. Call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
This is the Indy 500. A race so thrilling and wondrous that it brings together more people than any other sporting event on Earth. They call the Indianapolis Motor Speedway the Cathedral of Speed. This is the Brickyard, where they've been racing since before any of us were born.
Spectators get a great view of these fast cars.
This is Speed City, and everyone's invited. Welcome to May.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
This is not the solution using the firearms.
A drone was used to help seek for kids.
A generation of kids that just don't have any supervision.
It just seems like another random idea that he put out there.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Violence and lots of it.
I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Several people shot in Indianapolis over the course of a few hours overnight.
This is not the solution using the firearms as a means to conflict resolution. We continue to say that over and over again. We'll continue to say it. We need people to put the firearms down and resolve their conflicts.
IMPD officer Tommy Thompson says 3 men were shot on the Far East Side, North Side, and Northwest side of the city, and all of them are expected to recover.
Drones can be helpful to locate people, gather information, and resolve issues. Jake McDaniel explains how they were used recently.
A drone was used to help seek for kids who were accused of an attempted robbery on Indy's East Side Saturday. A man told police he was getting inside his car when kids came up to him, pulled on his car door, and tried to steal his keys. One kid also tried to steal his phone and wallet. After the man shut his car door, the kids ran off. After looking at surveillance video, police detained 2 of the kids and let the other 2 go. Jake McDaniel, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The police chief of Indianapolis, Chris Bailey, told WIBC's Hammer and Nigel on Monday that he's noticing troubling trends with the younger generation.
Well, I mean, we have a whole generation of kids that just don't have any supervision or and they lack respect for traditional institutions, whether it's their own parents or grandparents. Police officers.
He believes these kids are not getting the guidance they need and parents are not involved enough.
Also, a shooting at a Terre Haute hotel Monday night, which left one person dead and another one in jail. Here's Chris Davis.
That killing happened about 9 o'clock Monday night at the Candlewood Suites on Wabash Avenue in downtown Terre Haute. Someone went to the front desk and called 911, reporting that gunshots had been fired inside the hotel. When police got there, they found one person dead. They have not identified that person yet, but they did ID the person that they arrested, 30-year-old Wilson Chavez of Dallas, Texas. He has been charged with 1 count of murder. Police have not publicly discussed a motive nor the circumstances around the shooting. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Supreme Court gives the green light on a case. Johnette Cruz explains.
The Indiana Supreme Court has cleared a path for justice for 2 truck drivers caught in a tragic accident outside an Amazon warehouse in Hancock County. One driver lost his life and the other now faces life-altering injuries after being struck by vehicles. Their attorney argues a lack of clear signage and entry points by Amazon led to the devastating incident. This means the case will now head to trial preparation in Hamilton County as the families seek accountability for the profound losses they've suffered. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Could this change how movies are produced? And a plea for his life. Those stories and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, enough with all the 4-star generals and enough with TikTok already. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
And WIBC News Time is 12:03. A House Appropriations Subcommittee is holding an oversight hearing today on the Treasury Department with Secretary Scott Bessent. They discussed the latest round of trade negotiations with other countries.
There are 18 very important trading relationships. We are currently negotiating with 17 of those trading partners. China, we have not engaged in negotiations with as of yet.
Correction, Bessent believes they'll have some trade deals done by the end of the week.
California Democrats are blasting President Trump's proposed tariffs on movies that are produced overseas.
It just seems like another random idea that he put out there with no thought about how it would actually be implemented.
Congressman Ted Lieu says the tariff would eventually be passed on to consumers. Lieu used to be a state senator, and he says during his time in the state legislature, he pushed for a motion picture tax credit incentive program, and that, he says, would be a better way to bring jobs home.
Benjamin Ritchie faces execution May 20th for the shooting and killing of a Beech Grove cop named William Toney about 25 years ago. Monday, he made a 1-hour plea to try to save his life and from the state parole board.
It's horrible he lost his life. There's not a day goes by. I wish I could take it back. But me helping other screw-ups, not reoffend, not come back to Indiana's prisons, I think his life could best be served that way.
And the board only makes recommendations based on the testimony and facts. Ultimately, the decision's up to Governor Braun.
Indianapolis Public Schools and one of their former teachers are facing a new lawsuit. Jarrett Lewis reports.
The lawsuit mentions Julius Jonikin, a former IPS teacher who was let go by the school district in November of 2022. Attorneys say a 6-year-old special needs student in his care was repeatedly bullied, including instances of being shoved on a playground and stabbed with a pencil, and he did nothing to stop it. A previous lawsuit was settled back in April with IPS agreeing to pay out over $1.2 million in a settlement for a separate victim. A new lawsuit calls out multiple IPS teachers and staff members. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man shot and killed by cops outside the Hendricks County Courthouse on Monday afternoon. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says the man was armed with the gun and waited for 2 deputies to get out of the van with inmates who were due in court.
There's only one person who was shot, and that is the suspect who we believe was armed at the time of the shooting.
And Perrine says one of the deputies killed the man, and both deputies got the rest of the inmates to safety. The man who was killed was identified as 65-year-old Mark Vaughter of Plainfield. The cops say that he was targeting an inmate accused of killing his great-grandchildren.
NBA playoffs, the Indiana Pacers lead the Cleveland Cavaliers 1-0 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Game 2 is tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm Sean Herrick. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer. And the crossroads of America. It's Tony Katz Today.
Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, smiling and giggling as he meets President Trump, that evil, evil dictator who's trying to steal Canadian water and land. Look at him, smiling like the happiest guy in the world. I mean, you did win the election. It was impressive. Liberals have absolutely ruined Canada, and they said 4 more, or is it 6 more years of Liberal rule. It's embarrassing what the Canadians have done. Tony Katz, that's me, by the way. Tony Katz today. What are you doing, everybody? 833-468-8669, 833. Got Tony. If you listen to Carney on election day, we're not going to let that evil Trump take us and we're going to fight. And then he shows up. And if I were to be able to put into words what it looked like when he met Donald Trump, it was, it was that. Honestly, he was 12-year-old girl Japanese anime. So nice to meet you. It was the hand over the mouth and everything, which I'm actually doing, but it's radio. I don't have to do that, but it was natural reaction to how you would do that impression. All right, man. Giggle away. A lot happening in D.C. today. A lot of conversations, a lot of back and forth, including this from Speaker Mike Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to follow up on your comments about Congressman Issa's bill on judges. So are judicial impeachments off the table for the rest of this Congress?
No, look, impeachments are never off the table if it's merited. But in our system, we've had 15 federal judges impeached in the entire history of the country. I mean, there may be some that I feel merit that, but you got to get the votes for it, right? And it's a very high burden, and frankly, the bar is high crimes and misdemeanors. I mean, the last federal judge that was impeached, I think, was caught taking cash in an envelope. It's like it's got to be a pretty brazen offense, a real open crime that everybody could agree to. So short of that, if we don't have the votes, and by the way, even if we could get an impeachment article through the House on a federal judge, it's unlikely that they would be tried and convicted in the Senate on that with the divided number we have. So
it is difficult, but not off the table. That is the correct answer. And why should we be talking about the impeachment of federal judges? Why shouldn't we? Why? Are they special? Are they special? Somehow you can't. That's an attack on democracy. If it's happened in the past for something that we can agree on is an impeachable offense, a removable offense, well, then there it is. Remember, impeachment and removal are two different things. Of course it shouldn't be off the table. Of course it's there, and some of these judges are horrific. As we'll get more into, some of these judges, like we see some of these members of Congress, like we see certainly these non-governmental organizations, media members,